Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to HP to XP. I am Chris, the Dungeon Master for our Adventures in Umbranthal campaign. Before we jump into our story tonight, we have a few announcements and acknowledgements. First, please remember that our table is filled with talented and awesome people who create art, stream, and teach. You can find links to their socials and personal Twitch channels in our About Me section. Our very own Steph's Twitch channel, SideQuest Steph, is an awesome place to hang out with a community of genuinely good peoples and learn a little bit about building zoos, doing puzzles, and crafting mines. Check them out. I believe Drew has something to share. Drew, what do you got for us?
Good evening, all. I just wanted to take a moment to announce that I have been recently involved in making video content for a mental health campaign called Make Some Noise for Mental Health. It's a Canadian nationwide mental health awareness campaign, and it's created to inspire students to get loud and be advocates for their own mental health. It's happening right now, and we'll be running from January 18th to 29th. If you want to find any details on how you can get involved or show your support, you can go to www.acac.ab.ca. Again, is Canadian. Sorry to all the American people, but yeah, back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Drew. Yes, so for everybody in Canada who is watching us, please check that out. If you are in the US and looking for mental health resources, you can always start with mentalhealth.gov and find resources and links that can get you pointed in the right direction. As a reminder, you can find us live on Twitch every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for our campaign stream, and this Saturday morning, January the 23rd at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we're going to chat, talk about world building, DM tools, stuff like that. Starting February 1st, we are going to move our second stream to Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern, so mark your calendars for that. If you do miss us live, remember you can always hop over to our YouTube channel and check out our VODs. And please use the links in our chat and our description to connect with us on our Discord server, visit us on our social media platforms, and our website. But now, the adventure begins. Welcome to Umbranthal.
Journey to Umbranthal is produced for mature audiences. The topics and roleplay may be challenging, including instances of violence, power, and race. Our chat and comment sections are a place to respectfully engage with these topics and offer us your feedback.
When we last visited them, the party had set out from Seva, traveling to Misa, hoping to meet with the archaeologist about the promise of work. The first day's travel was uneventful. Settling in for an evening's rest, discussions of newfound abilities occupied much of the night's watches, with Maple having found herself able to speak with a mouse and Anara succeeding in summoning a fey familiar. Morning brought more travel. The party stumbled upon a wagon in flames and the shrieks of a mother exclaiming that her children had been taken. Our heroes sprung into action, working to close the distance to the kidnappers, and found themselves in a battle with several gnolls. Gnoll after gnoll fell, but the dynamics of the situation changed markedly when a former compatriot of Azirus, a gold dragonborn known as Chrysante, revealed herself and targeted Azirus. In the battle, Chrysante and two of her companions used their magical prowess to jump away from the party, with two of the three children in tow. The third child, the young halfling boy Jiri, was returned to his mother's arms. Torn over giving chase or escorting the bloodied and battered Yellow Crane family back to Misa, the party elected to secure the safety of the family and to seek reinforcements for a possible rescue. Arriving in Misa, they quickly got their bearings and went to meet with the mayor, one Rylith Summershade. Summershade informed them that he had no help to give, there being no substantial town guard in the city. He made it clear that what happened beyond the borders of his town was beyond his responsibility, but suggested if they wished to pursue the children, allies might be hired at the Vagabond Inn. Having exited the Summershade home, the party found themselves torn between competing interests. The altruistic goal of rescuing the children from a formidable set of foes, practical offers of work and payment in Misa, and seeking answers to very personal questions. As the afternoon sun shifts to early evening shadows, what would you like to do?
Well, I believe we were headed to the Vagabond, if my memory serves me correct. I believe that's... yeah.
Before we do arrive there, like as we are probably leaving and heading over there, Aziris is going to clear his throat and speak up and say, if you don't mind, before we do try and find allies, try and make any plans, I'd like to speak to the parents first.
Is there any specific reason for that, or...?
Yes. There's some information that might change what we should do.
Would you like some company when you go?
If you would like.
We could all head over there. They were staying at a place I think called the Mew. I think he had like a cousin or something named Quarrel who ran that. Aziris, you seem to know those folks who attacked and kidnapped those children.
Yes, and I will. I'll definitely explain everything. I would just like to try and figure some things out first.
I understand that. I definitely haven't seen anybody who's been ever to just blink away quite like that before. I mean, I don't always agree with Rice, but and I want to see if there's something we can do. But we probably should at least know what we're maybe getting into. So if that's needed, I'm happy to go to the Vagabond. We could all maybe grab a bite to eat anyway or something.
Well, why don't we, whoever wishes to go with Aziris, they can, and we meet up at the Vagabond. Those of us who want to drink, rest, so on and so forth, we can just meet you there.
Sounds like a great plan.
Rona
Okay.
just
Who's
starts
going where?
Anara's going with Aziris.
Okay.
Finn is going with Aziris.
Okay.
Verona is not going with Aziris.
Okay.
It sounds like folks are either going to the family or going to the Vagabond.
Yes, so it's either go where you will eventually try to find allies or go talk to the family.
Rice?
Rice is going to go with Anara.
I guess Cloud will follow Aziris. Yeah.
Okay. Maple?
I think Maple will. She's very torn between Cloud and Anara, looking back and forth. Just because I guess she'll address Verona. You know what, bud? I think finding some new buds, maybe getting a head start on those new buds might be a good idea for me. I mean, I'm a really good listener, but I think I'm better at getting folks on our side. So how about I go with you? Would that be okay?
Totally fine.
Okay, then Maple's going with Verona.
Okay. Easily done. Each group is able to very easily ask somebody in the street to point them in the right general direction, and you make your way to the respective places unimpeded. For the group going to the Mew, as you approach, you find a sort of a wooden and daubed building with a thatched roof. It's like a story and a half kind of building, a little bit bigger footprint wise than the newly named Ambassador Inn in Seva was, but still a rather small, sort of modest affair. As you come into the building, tavern has this sort of woody, earthy smell to it, and it's a little musky and damp. Behind the bar is a halfling man who you have not met before.
Wonderful. Xeris will approach and definitely does not remember the names of the parents, but is going to lean down and say, excuse me.
Hi. Oh, you're okay. Yeah, you're big.
Right. There's a family that is related to you that recently. He kind of like looks over to the others for like help on how to converse.
Finn leans in and says, well,
Thank God, Finn to the rescue.
We had encountered, is your name Quarrel?
Yes. Yeah, I'm Quarrel. Carvin, I assume you were the people who helped.
Yes, that's right.
Carvin and Calliope.
That's correct. It's nice to meet you. My name's Finn, and
it's a
this
pleasure.
Is my companion, Osiris. And he was just wondering, he wanted to know if he could talk to the family because we were still concerned about those other children.
Of course. Let me go get Carvin. One moment.
Thank you.
And he goes outside. He goes out through a back door. You can kind of hear some clambering and a little bit of knocking and voices in the background. And coming back in with him comes Calliope, the mother with the littlest or the middle child that you rescued, Jiri, with her. Yes. What can I help?
Yes. I have a question for you, if you don't mind me. I don't know if this is prying at all, but it is important in regards to your children.
Anything?
Does magic run in your family? Have the children shown any magic prowess at all?
She sort of looks to the floor for a minute, trying to even understand what that means. And we're farmers. I don't think so. I mean, they're so little. You never know what somebody will be able to do. But neither Carvin or I can. So I don't know.
Okay.
Why does that matter?
Just the urgency of the situation. That's all.
Are you going to go get them?
We're going to discuss what to do. We're going to try.
I understand.
He just kind of looks away and fidgets a little bit.
She looks around a little expectingly to see if anybody else is.
Well, I know it's been a trying day, so we don't want to take up too much of your time. I know your youngin still has to be a bit scared, and I know y'all went through it too. So
yes,
if we're able to do anything, and we're not sure, but if we're able to, we'll let you know.
Oh, okay, thank you. And she just sort of gives a polite nod and kind of a half head bow to everybody who is standing there and heads out. Once she walks away, Quarrel turns back and says, I appreciate everything you did for him. I don't have much, but if you can go get them, I can try to muster some gold. You're welcome to stay here on me for tonight, if that helps. But I can't promise much. We don't have much, but I will get what I can.
I don't mean to sound like a professional, but what do these children look like? Otherwise, we're just going to come back with random halfling children.
So he goes ahead and describes them for you. Jet is a little bit older, getting into his teen years, short hair, looks kind of like Jerry, who you always already saw. Jinx is the middle child. She has a permanent scowl on her face and a shock of bright red hair.
Cool.
Has this been a problem in the past at all around these parts?
I've never heard of it. I mean, there are bandits, but something like this, kidnapping, never.
Interesting. And then Rice didn't say anything else.
Right, well, shall we go discuss what we might be able to do?
Let's.
He will begin to leave.
If you go, again, you're welcome to stay. But if you go, I'll do what I'll. Our families are all in the fields in the south, and I can have Carvin go and try and raise some money if it helps.
I couldn't ask anything for this. I don't know about these folks, but I couldn't. And he will continue to leave.
Okay.
Anara goes after him.
All right. So, for those of you who went to the Vagabond, you find it easily enough. As you approach, you come upon this 2-story, very Tudor-looking building, but kind of on the filthier side. There's a little bit of mildew in the corner where the beams meet the stucco. The roof is a cedar shake, and it's got that little hint of green all over it. As you walk in, you can just smell roasted meats and stale ale. It's loud. There's a card game going in the corner with a half a dozen people around, some of them betting, some of them taking side bets, another dozen or so people scattered about various tables and states of conversation. As you walk in, the bartender looks up and goes, "Hey, friends, welcome. What can I do for you? You looking for rooms? You looking for drinks? What do you need?"
Yes. Hello. I'm not sure if we're going to be needing rooms, but at the very least, we do need a place to sit, and I could definitely go for a drink or two.
All right. Ale for the both of you, or what are you looking for?
Ale for now.
All right.
I mean, do you just have regular water by chance?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, something like that. All right, not a problem. And he goes and fetches an ale, and what ends up being mostly water. It's not a particularly clean glass. There's probably the hint of ale still in it, but it's mostly water for you, Maple. And he slides them across, and that'll be, give me 5 copper for both of them, and grab a table wherever you want.
Easy done. All right. 5 copper. Pull that off.
Oh, hey, Verona, I'll make sure that we get you half of that from Claude, okay?
No. It's completely fine. Further advice, the alcohol in this drink actually helps cleanse and sterilize the glass. So in a place like this, you might consider something a little stiffer. But,
I mean, but this water's already spicy enough for me, you know. It's okay. I think I'll just stick with this.
Yes, I'm sure the lead makes it very, very spicy.
Verona's kind of scoping the place to see where the most secluded table or area that the group could kind of sit in?
Sure, easily found. There's a couple of tables over in a corner that seems to be kind of on the opposite end of the building from where the card game's at. Most of the activity and hustle and bustle is over by that game.
Make a beeline for that and just kind of grab them.
Easily done.
Then yeah, Verona's just gonna sit, muddle, wait with ale.
Okay. All right. So the party that had been at the Mew, are you just heading straight to the Vagabond to meet up with everybody else?
Yeah.
Easily done. You wend your way through the streets a little bit and find yourselves walking into the Vagabond. And as you walk in, you are greeted by the same bartender. Friends, welcome, welcome. It's your old buddy Titch. What can I do for you?
We had 2 party members that came in here before us. Did you by chance see them?
I think they're over there in the corner. You need drinks? You staying? What can I do for you?
Wine, please.
All right. We can do wine. Anybody else?
Xeris just walks straight over to the table.
Yeah, Cloud save. Just walks to the straight up. I'm good.
Maple is eagerly waving everybody over. She saved everybody a seat.
Finn's just walking over.
Okay.
Yeah.
This poor guy.
All right. Easily done. So he will bring you your drink, Anara. When he does, wine will be 5 copper. He'll bring it over and put it down in front of you and not spill any of it on you.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So, was your trip successful?
Not as much as I was hoping. Xeris, I don't think he has sat down quite yet. I think he is probably pacing in front of the table and like tapping at his chin. He doesn't say anything for a couple of moments. Then he just says, there is a small chance, smaller now that I know the children probably have not shown any magic yet, but there is still a small chance that they will be kept alive by the faithful. They have lost an entire team, so I'm sure they are probably eager to gain numbers again, but I don't know if they will be desperate enough to take anyone. But regardless, it still would be incredibly dangerous if we go.
What more can you tell us about these faithful?
I could say a lot. What specifically do you want to know?
Bryce
If you're
leans,
planning on... Oh,
Do you know
Rice leans forward in his chair
in
and
particular?
Yeah. Well,
Do you know these faithful in particular?
Sorry, there's too many people were talking. I did not hear. Yes, I know them personally.
What can you tell me about
They-
these specific people,
Hmm.
particularly that Dragonborn?
Chrysanthi is short-tempered, if nothing else, but powerful. Has a team that we at least took some of, but he is still probably pacing at this point. And he just shakes his head and goes, there should be 2 others of her ability there, and then another that is stronger, and then many more that are beneath them. I don't
Do you
think it's a
have-
good idea.
We were already planning on doing something potentially incredibly dangerous, so I don't see danger being a breaking point, so to speak. Rough numbers, estimations. How many are we dealing with?
Each team usually has around 10, give or take. And then back at home, there's maybe 30 others.
So anywhere from 40 to 60, somewhere in there?
Right.
Well,
Serious clarification here. So these children, are they for ransom? They're for recruitment into your old cult buddies, or what is it that they serve as a purpose? Are these children going to be dumped if it comes to it, or are they going to hold on to them? What are they doing?
Well, since I am not there anymore, I cannot say for sure. They did both lose their most recent sacrifice as well as lose an entire team, so it could either be for sacrifice, it could be for recruitment. I could not say for sure.
Blood magic.
Sacrifice to whom?
Very interesting.
If you do not mind, I'd rather keep his eyes off me if I can.
Well, I do think it's kind of funny that they're stealing halfling children because there's not very much blood involved with that. I suppose they are not very good at selecting whoever, just from an economic standpoint, I think it's probably a poor choice. But
I have this distinct feeling that they weren't chosen either on purpose or likely for a definite reason. I suspect that is what you are thinking as well as yours.
Leah.
Aziris, it sounds like from what you have said that this is a organized and large operation. I feel like
community.
Okay. I feel like perhaps there might be a better way of not so much like attacking the house on the stilts, but more or less kicking the stilts out from under it. I'm wondering if perhaps it's not the best to go in on a full attack and more of
we would die.
Sleuthing. Okay.
I think stealth might be our best option for this.
Aziris looks directly at Maple.
I have a thought, just something. A couple of us have demonstrated abilities to go unnoticed. We only care about I only care about saving the children. I do not feel the need to kill any of them. So
I don't mean to sound callous when I say this, Verona, but I don't understand your motives. I also like to help people, but I don't really understand your goals and why you would care so much.
Why would I not care to save children?
Oh, I thought that maybe you were, on a bigger goal or a longer mission or I'm not sure what your path was.
Oh, absolutely. But if I can help as many people as humanly possible, I mean, is that not a worthy goal to have?
I mean, of
Help
course.
people?
Yes. I mean, I want to learn a lot about being a cleric and different things, but I am also, I'm aware of, some things that I cannot do. And going after this group, it was stealth or not stealth, seems like a very, not a very good decision. My cat senses are telling me it would be very bad. And I'm thinking that perhaps there is another way to go about it, like a lieutenant somewhere that we can sleuth out, or a scout or something, and find our way into a network in a very longer way. But I do not see don't really see a very straightforward solution for these two kidnapped children.
Maple is currently looking at Aziris with a look of admiration and gratefulness to be included in the conversation, but she's very confused.
I think I'm going to need some of that wine if I'm going to plan out my own death. So, bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna the wine, please.
All right,
Thank
yeah.
you.
He brings the wine in time.
Aziris,
Yeah.
have you ever been to this particular hideout before?
Of course.
Can you tell me anything about the layout of the cavern, the cave system?
Hey, DM, I'm sure he could, right?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Yeah. Yes, you give a basic rundown of the space, what it looks like. It is a natural cavern worn away over the years, like so many cavern systems that both Anara and Rice would be accustomed to from their background. You know, what? It's a cave.
Is it one single cave or is it multiple rooms within the cave?
Oh no, it's multiple rooms. It is a complex of tunnels and rooms and spaces and all of it naturally occurring, but
Okay. Would Aziris know if the children might be kept in a separate room just for themselves, just as like a little prison cell?
yes, Aziris would know that there are cells.
Okay. So, I do have an option that might possibly get us in and out without too much notice. I have the ability to change what I look like. I could disguise myself as possibly one of these cultists, one of these faithful, and go in and see if I can find these children, possibly even get them out unnoticed.
I definitely have ability to help you with that. I know that Rise has something at his disposal as well.
Yes, I'm very familiar with caves. I know how they look.
Mm-hmm.
I know what a stalagmite is.
Frankly, I'm not doing this for money, so if we decide to do this, it's more gold in your pockets.
Money be damned, we need to rescue those children.
Curious. Okay.
I do not see how it is possible without like very significant support. I have to be honest that I will not be interested in going along at this level. I mean, I'm still working on growing and becoming stronger. And the magic I saw last was of level that even I do not understand.
Yeah,
You shouldn't.
if you get caught, you will die. There's no question about it.
And
They'd have to catch us first.
Maple was probably sitting next to Aziris, so she'll look up. She's been fixated on one thing this entire time. Oh, hey, bud, what's a stilt?
Oh, it's like, it's like a support that holds up something. Like, think about it like this, Maple. Instead of like killing like the big scary monster, you go after like the smaller monster first, and then you work your way in. I'm proposing that.
Maple looks very concerned at Anara. Oh, bud, are you sure you want to do this? You're the shortest one out of us all.
Better to go unnoticed.
Cloud, go ahead and give me a perception roll.
I rolled a 20.
Okay. You very easily, as this conversation is going on and with just kind of looking about the bar, you are aware that there are several people in this place who all look and are dressed in the same manner as all of you. Some of them still with weapons at their sides, dirty road clothing. It would not be uncommon for there to be other folks of adventuring sort that would be taking up an afternoon or an evening in this place.
It seems like there are other people who have combat talents here.
That is the other option. We could recruit as many people. I have, let's see, 15 gold to my name, and I'm more than happy to put that on the table to help recruit. If just straight on busting in the front door, admittedly not the best idea. I will fully agree with that, but sometimes the direct approach works.
I'll add another 15 to that, and I agree. A direct assault would not be in our favor. But we might be able to use these fellows as something of a distraction.
Aziris is going to look over at these people in question. Can I tell just by a cursory look how skilled or, gosh, what's the word? Weathered, I guess they might be?
Okay, I'll let you make either a perception check or an investigation check, depending upon which one is better for you, because you are actively trying to figure this out.
Cool. I got a whopping 11.
Okay, you can tell that there are definitely, I mean, they look like they've been on the road. You see a dwarven woman in sort of half plate armor. There's a human man in kind of a scale mail. There is a about 6.5 foot tall orcish woman in sort of this padded leather armor. Over at the table where the card game is going on, there's a blue skin tiefling in leather armor who's dealing cards, and he seems like he's got a little bit of road dirt on him. There are a few other folks. Nobody that you would say, oh my lord, this person is, massively experienced. Hard thing to tell at a distance.
He turns back to the table and just goes, the issue with if we hire more people would be if we bring more sheep to the wolf, it's not going to be any harder.
Aziris, not to sound like I'm just full of conspiracy, but what if they're no help? What if we hire them and they're no actual help? They're a hindrance? And who's
I
talking
wouldn't be
them?
surprised.
It seems to me like a delicate matter. I suppose we could hire them, but I mean, I think you know me well enough to ascertain that me selling them on it is probably not going to happen. I think the pitch goes to Verona, not to volunteer you, Verona, but you're obviously the one most interested in this charity case. And what if I don't think we have enough money to hire people, but I suppose there's no harm in asking. It's better than our previous plan of just feeding ourselves to these mages. So go get them, Verona.
I mean,
On the
is there,
breaks? Go ahead.
is there an option where I hate to I'm not going to say that I could condone children dying, but it seems as though another option where we try to take down this very bad group is a better goal than, I mean, obviously, like 2 lives is very important. I don't want to deny that, but it seems like the risk and the reward is not balanced.
When I left, my goal was to eventually return with more power to try and take care of things there, but he stops pacing finally and just sighs and just looks down at his hand and clenches his fist and just goes, when I left, I had more. And I left because I couldn't take them then. He finally just sits down and just kind of like pinches the bridge of his nose.
Osiris, I know we've all been talking here about the children and others, but it seems to me as well that you would be specifically targeted no matter what endeavor we decide with this group. And so it seems to me you have a very, well, your interest is different and your risk level is different. What do you feel we should do?
He takes a deep breath and after a moment says, I don't know. Like I said, if we go in, we will die. Even if we try to sneak in and go in undetected, I do not doubt that we will likely be caught. But I do not want to leave them there.
Well, it seems to me you seem pretty confident that if we just went in as we are, even going the hidden route, that it would not end well for us. I guess maybe it wouldn't hurt if we see how much it costs to hire people, and if we're not able to afford it right now, maybe we can find something else and maybe get a chance. I hate to rely on time, but maybe that's what we have to do sometimes.
That is a good question. You have any idea how long do we have? Like, are the children already dead? Are we planning something with just no real victory at the end of it? Or is there a chance they will be alive in a few days, in a week? Do you have any idea?
At the minimum, we do have a few days. What I'm hoping, like I said, is that they're going to be desperate for numbers and we'll try and recruit them. But I cannot say for sure. But we do at least have a few days.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but it seems to me we might have a few days, even if they're gonna be, well, as you said, sacrificed. And even if not, maybe even more time if they're gonna be recruited. I don't know if they like, halflings can be good at some things in particular, but maybe we can at least find it and try to find a way to make whatever plan we make, if we decide to do this, more, well, to just give us a chance to not just, well, to be successful, I guess. I don't know.
It is worth looking into at least. I feel like as there is, having come from this organization, you probably could, I don't know, maybe teach us more about like what to look for, or like how we might be able to like find more information, and we could use that to like go around here, even in Mesa, to see like what we could learn or like discover.
I agree. More information is definitely not a bad thing. We just have to remember that as we are wasting time finding that information, the children are losing time. We have no guarantees of the amount of time that they have left.
I wouldn't call getting information to help wasting time. I would say that that's actually helping us plan and make a better decision. Rather, I mean, I hate running. I hate running away from things or people or armies that are stronger than you are. But sometimes you have to do it until you find the right time.
That was my initial plan.
Maple takes a deep breath. Okay, buds. So I know we came here for work, and I'm not really sure how we go about finding that, okay? But I know that 600 somethings were involved. And that sounds like more than enough because everybody at this table runs off of money. Yes, I mean, I don't. I came to club with nothing. You know, they keep track of all of our money super well. I'm super thankful, you know, because my pockets are already full, you know, of love for all of you guys. You really make my days go by so much better. And I really think that everybody in this bar would really appreciate some of those 600 something. So if we have a couple days, you know, how about we go do that first, provided the job is still open. I'd be more than happy to do some of the talking and get some of these people involved after we get those 600 somethings, you know, and maybe we can pass that out and go get the kids after that.
Well, that sounds like an option to me. I mean, we do have the two things that Mr. Sunshine. Oh, wait, that was Summer Shade. He presented himself as Mr. Sunshine, apparently. But he had a couple jobs as well, but maybe we can, I was hesitant before about the Red Boar Inn, but I know, Anara, you had mentioned that and others. Maybe we can at least find out what that job is. And then that said, we also have at least one free night. And I think we're going to have to kind of rest before we make a decision on anything we do anyway, given everything we've experienced today.
Agreed. We can't do anything this evening. It's already getting too late, and we definitely need the rest. So I think that talking to this archaeologist at the Red Boar Inn might be at least a good start for us. At least it's work.
If the work can be completed within a very short period of time, Maple is right. 600 gold would, well, we would be a little flush. We would be able to hire more people.
Agreed.
Might not help with the numbers, but I mean, I disagree. With Rise, I think any help is better than no help at all. So.
Oh, gold. That's what it's called. Thank you so much, bud. That really helps me out.
Perhaps if it is not too late in the day, I could ask also where this library is, Hadir, and maybe Amara, you know more about it. You said that you would help me do some research. If we only do have like a short amount of time, maybe I could gain more information about clerics too, potentially even today. I don't know.
We can definitely add that to our itinerary.
That's a good question. DM, how much time do we have left in the day?
You got to town in the early afternoon by this point with going to deal with the mayor, going to the Mew, talking with the Yellow Cranes, coming back and discussing. It's getting into evening hours. Let's just call it 6 p.m. for argument's sake.
Okay.
I would say we have 3-4 hours, so...
Well, let's go to the Boar Inn, I guess, to start.
Yes. At least it's one lead that we already have.
I'm going to suggest this. We do not need all of us to take care of one thing.
That is
so
true.
We split. We've done it before. We can reconvene back here in the evening once we've figured out a few more things. And
can I suggest that we don't reconvene here? I mean, I've stayed in some areas, but we do have a free place to stay tonight.
Yes, Carvin Quarrel had actually offered us some rooms free
Oh,
of charge.
For for what? For helping
For helping
with the
possibly return the children.
I don't feel comfortable taking free room for something that we might not be able to do.
No, they're giving that for what we've already done, and I think refusing it, it's like turning down a gift. Maybe
it could be seen that way.
Elves are very tricky about gifts, and I appreciate the common sense approach here. And I must say, Cloud, I agree wholeheartedly. I don't care if children die, so you and me see eye to eye on that.
I care if children die, Res. I do. I just am
Right.
also aware of my skill set, and I
So-
think that you're.
If I may, I was getting on to my point. My point is that what we're doing right now is theorizing how it is that we can resolve the problem. Well, what is the problem? The problem is that there are mages around kidnapping halfling children, whatever. And the thing that we can really look into is whether or not those surly looking fellows over there are hired to escort people, because if that's the case, then this is a common occurrence, and or it would probably be fairly easy to escort others in the future, perhaps set an ambush, learn about their habits, how
Yes.
they're actually assaulting others and kidnapping and things like that. And that is much more favored terrain than going into a cavern where we are unfamiliar with it. And besides the Xeris, I suppose, but at the same time, we won't be easily surrounded, and it's less suicidal, I'll say.
Yes.
All right. Well, we know what Rise is going to do. Anara, do you want to go to the Red Boar Inn? You seemed most interested in that earlier, so
Yes, I believe that I might be able to, if this is who I think it might be, I think I might be able to get us this job.
one step at a time.
Agreed.
We figure out the time and everything else. Cloud, if I'm assuming Maple is going to come with you, if you want to check the libraries, I'm sure
Yes.
Zeros could help you in narrowing down the topics. That is
Alright.
my best recommendation, unless you would like to do something else with Zeros. And Fen, I don't know. Maybe you want to come with us. Maybe you want to make sure that Rise doesn't kill any of these individuals.
Well, I actually I need to get some more arrows if there's still time. So I was actually going to see if there was a Fletcher still open, and then maybe I can go inform Quarrel that was staying for the night, and then y'all can just meet me there whenever y'all finish with your various business.
All right.
Sounds
Rona
good.
just knocks back the last of her arrow.
All right. Let's go.
Okay, so right now I have Anara going to the Red Boar. Verona, you are going with her
To the Red Boar, yeah.
to the Red Boar. Cloud, you are going to the library. Aziris, are you going to go with Cloud?
Yes.
Okay. Maple, what are you doing?
Maple is actually confused. She has a question for Rice. Hey Rice there, bud. I've got quite the gun show going on. Were you gonna go talk to those strong guys over there? Because I'd be more than happy to provide an icebreaker,
Wow, just what I needed, Maple, was for you to break the ice with these strangers. I greatly appreciate your offer, and I will most definitely take you up on that. If you could also do most of the talking, I would appreciate that as well.
Oh sure, bud. You just tell me what to say and I'm your gal. Okay? Let's go ahead and do that. Cloud, you okay without me for a moment?
I'll be just fine, Maple. I think that this is something you'll do very well at.
Okay, so Rice and Maple are staying at the Vagabond to talk with the various and sundry people there. Cloud and Osiris are going to the library. Anara and Verona are going to the Red Boar. Fen, are you going to just go off on your own to try to find a Fletcher, or are you going to move around with one of these groups and see what you find along the way?
I'm actually just gonna go out on my own
Okay.
right now. Finn's been around so many people for the past few days; he's not used to it, and so he's kind of just feeling weird.
All right, easily done.
Just one quick thing.
Yeah.
Just as Verona is getting up, as soon as she passes Maple, she's been kind of drawing in her palm, and she just kind of claps Maple on the side and, Ajende, good luck. And Maple, you just feel an immense amount of, well, splendor spread through you from the point of contact. I have cast Enhance Ability upon you, so make sure you have advantage on charisma checks. So, yeah, have fun with that.
Maple will yell after Verona and anybody else who is leaving. Okay, buds, you be safe. You make good choices. No, okay?
Okay, so our respective groups who are heading out get up and leave the tavern. We will go ahead and start with the two of you who are going to the Red Boar Inn, having walked past it and seen it on your way into town, having had it pointed out to you. It's very easy for you to navigate your way back. Again, it is this sort of two-story, very beautifully clean white stuccoed building with a large overhanging second floor. As you walk in the door, the room just smells of savory dishes, and there's a hint of tobacco in the air. Over in the corner, there's an elven girl playing a lyre. There are maybe a half a dozen people sitting at tables in the tavern area. The room is lit now that we're getting into evening with candle sconces all around the walls. Most of the windows are still open. The shutters haven't been closed yet, but the interior is kind of bathed in this candle light. There's a young elven woman behind the bar as the bartender.
Excuse me, bartender.
Yes.
We saw a notice when we were in Seva about an archaeologist that might be looking for some hirelings to help with some employment.
Right. Do you see the handsome fellow over there? And she points to an elven man who, Anara, you would assume had some drow heritage from his skin tone. He's got the silvery hair and whatnot. She's with him. If you go talk to him, he can help you.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything?
I'm fine for now, thank you.
All right.
And I head over towards the...
So you walk over, and there's this gentleman sitting there, and he's got on this very beautifully tailored tunic top with sort of a it is what would best be faux padded armor. It is the look of padded armor, but is very much just woven into the cloth of the tunic. The buttons are all silver. He is dressed very neatly. As you approach, he looks up and... Cousin?
Cousin? Are you by chance the archaeologist, Uliston?
Mistress Uliston is working right now, but I work with her. I assume you've seen the notice?
We have, and we came inquiring about employment.
She is investigating some leads right now. expect that she will be back in 2 or 3 days. She should be here soon. I am capable of getting your information, and if you tell me where you're staying, one of us, we will make sure someone goes to fetch you when she is back. I work for her, but I cannot hand out the work for her. I hope you understand.
Oh, one question first. How closely is she tied to House Uliston in Isterland?
He looks at you. Make a persuasion check.
Alrighty. That would be an 18.
It is her name. That, I think, is all you need to know.
All right. My name is Anara Coldrees.
He extends a hand. A pleasure, Mr. Coldrees.
And this is my companion, Verona.
Hello.
We have a few other members of our party that are looking for employment.
How many of you are there?
There's a total of 7 of us.
Are you recently from Isteron?
Rather recent, actually.
I see. I believe Mr. Sulston would very much want to talk to you. The position is not yet filled, we should say.
Would it be possible for us to visit her wherever she is instead of waiting the 2 to 3 days?
I'm afraid I only have cursory understanding of where she has gone. I'm not privileged to know everything, as you might understand.
Fully understand. Please inform her when you see her next that we will be staying at the Mew Inn.
Very well.
And we eagerly await her contact.
Very well. The Mew. And I assume we should ask for you.
Yes, please.
Very.
And was there any more information you could give us about this employment?
He looks around a little bit. He is definitely, you can see on his face that he's conflicted about the idea of saying anything, but given your bearing and your heritage, he is also feeling very torn about whether or not he is supposed to be telling you anything. So give me another persuasion roll.
Okay. That would be a huge 8.
Mr. Coldrees, I hope you understand. I must maintain my confidences. It is a Mr. Sulston she is an archaeologist. She is investigating ancient ruins and is looking for laborers and guards for some of these things. So you have the right kind of people with you. It seems that she would want to work with, but I'm sorry. I wish I could say more, but you understand.
I do understand. Thank you for your time. And please let the archaeologist know that House Uliston and Household Coldrees are allies. And I expect to maintain that allyship with her.
I understand. I will make sure she knows as soon as she is back. Thank you. I'm sorry I can't do more right now.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yes.
I turn around and leave.
Okay.
Rona slides a single silver piece over to him.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Follows Nara out.
Okay. All right, so we will then pick up where are you two going before I move on?
Gonna head, because I know that Anara wanted to assist Cloud with some of the research. So I'm gonna head towards the library.
Okay.
Not a bad idea.
I
Easily
think,
done.
Yeah.
All right, so you two will start heading towards the library. So, Cloud and Aziris, you have left the Vagabond, I assume, very easily asked for directions to the library and have made your way there. The library itself is a one-story marble building with a green roof and sort of these very nicely patinaed, leaded-looking windows. It's the only building that you've seen in this town that actually has something that would pass for glass in the windows. Neither of you have seen this material before, but it's solid and mostly translucent. There is a single candle light sort of shining from inside, but most of the building is dark. You go up and the door is locked, but you do see somebody sort of wandering around inside.
I imagine that on the way to the library, Aziris may be pretty quiet, and so I imagine that Cloud would probably be like awkwardly quiet as well, and their tail is probably just like twitching around, not knowing what to say. So when we arrive, Cloud will say, "Hello."
Okay, you knock, you hear a little bit of scuffling, and the door opens to reveal a elven man who is on the shorter side. He's about 5'5", makes Fen look like a towering giant. Bright red hair that goes all the way down to about his ass level. Super long.
Nice.
He opens the door. Yes.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I'm Cloud. Nice to meet you.
I am Yokorin, and he
Yokorin.
extends a hand.
This is my friend Aziris. I have a letter, Yokorin. It's from Sevith, who is a cleric in. Oh crap! What's the name of the city?
Seva.
Hosties?
Well,
Seva.
yes, Hosties. Sure.
Hosties. I was kind of hoping to like get a book or be in the library, and Cloud will hand over the letter.
He takes the letter. He opens it. Yes. We are. Well, I was closing for the night, but do come in. I will do what we can briefly. Tomorrow would be better, but come. We'll see what we can find.
Right.
And he ushers you in. The inside of the library itself, the room that you walk into is sort of a medium-sized reading room. There are a couple of tables. There is a large center table, and then a couple of scattered tables around it. As you look to the back corner away from the door, you see where sort of the stacks of books are behind a counter. What are you looking for?
I'll explain to him that I'm just looking for like a book that talks about like all the different deities, and if it's possible, if I can keep it.
One moment, and he goes off, and you hear some rummaging. There's some stuff that falls to the floor, a couple of grunts. He comes back. Yes, the gods. Yes. All right, and he hands across a book. He has labored to carry it, and when it lands on the table, it is a thump. From its sound, it is not light. And he opens it, and you hear that kind of creaking of a spine and a little bit of crackling. It is very complete, as far as we know.
Does it like come in like an ebook format?
I believe it has.
Magically make it louder.
I believe it has all of the letters in it. What? I'm afraid it can't leave the building, but is there something in particular that I can help you with here? I can.
Well, you see, I'm not a very fast reader, so
All right.
I imagine I just wanted to read more about like all the gods and the deities. So unfortunately, going
Could
to
you-
one area, I don't think it's going to be very beneficial.
Could you narrow it down at all? I do have books on some of the pantheons that are that could be lent, but obviously this is our most comprehensive tome. I'm not able to allow
You
anyone.
have like a beginner's guide.
Like a how-to for dummies.
Let me see what I can find.
Thanks,
He,
Zeus.
yes, he goes in the back and he comes back with a it is a collection of very thin wooden tablets.
Is it a picture book, a pop-up book for kids?
Essentially, it is essentially a picture book. It is essentially D is for deity. But it is a series of 8 wooden plates that are very beautifully illustrated in the tradition of like an illustrated manuscript, not really a child's book, but so they each have a some sort of artwork depicting a scene and then writing on them. These are probably the best starting point if you are unfamiliar, and these detail each of the elevated deities. This may be a good place to start. I can lend them, but I don't believe we've met before. Are you staying in Mesa or what?
We don't. Right now we are. Cloud will look to his ears.
All right. If you want to take them with you, the letter is why I will allow this at all, since you are not a citizen. But I would need a deposit.
I'll just stay here as long as I can tonight, and I'll just read through his stuff. But I totally understand. I don't want to take it from you.
It's okay if you choose to. I would need 5 gold, and you would get that back when you bring them back.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll just stay here for now and read
Okay.
as much, but then maybe take
Sure.
it with me later.
Okay, so for the time being, you have access to the book. You have access to the plates with the elevated deities information on there. Is there anything in particular that you are looking for right at this moment?
And
No.
Xerus will assist with whatever you are doing because he is a big reader.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other books in here that Zeus was want to read, but
Yeah, is there?
Nope,
Yeah.
he is just as interested in this as you are.
Okay.
All right. Maybe,
All right.
or I don't know.
All right.
I'll just research in general.
Yeah, there's anything that you would want to know, you are probably going to be able to find. If you have a specific question right now, you can ask me and we can hash that out. But otherwise,
No,
you can do
nothing
that.
specific.
All right, Fen. You are out. Are you looking for anything other than a place to buy arrows?
No. Finn basically, 1, needs to relay the arrows. 2, is just processing. He's got, as he's walking, he's got a sense of powerlessness again. Having seen children taken away and feeling like, why does this always keep happening?
Okay.
And so he's trying to process that. At the same time, he's also trying to process from earlier in the day, seeing drow and high elves swinging their ears around to determine whose is bigger. And that's also just frustrating him and get, because having witnessed this and experienced this firsthand. So he's also enjoying being with this group, although he's uncertain with them, which is something he's not used to that. So he's kind of like, I need some space. So just going to get arrows and then to go to the Mew if he can find arrows, go get arrows.
He
purchase some arrows to replenish, and then just go to the meal and wait for everybody and have an ale.
Easily done. You acquire your arrows. You head to the Mew. Quarrel presents you with a pint, and he will engage you in as much conversation as you care to, but he is also perfectly happy to leave you be.
Right now, Finn's just going to enjoy his ale. He's not really thinking about anything else. And
okay.
I'm guessing also as well as a gold for arrows and 5 copper for the ale.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, that's good for Finn.
All right, cool. So, Maple and Rice, you, having watched your friends get up and wander off, what are you going to do?
I think Maple's rubbing her hands together, looking at Rice, maybe with both elbows on the table and her chin resting atop both of her crossed hands. Okay, bud, so you're gonna tell me what we're gonna do here? I'm really excited to finally do something with you, I think this is gonna be good for us.
Rice looks at Maple and just kind of is tired, and then finishes his wine and thinks for a moment and says, well, Maple, I think the most important thing that we can decide right now before we go over there is our code names. Because every good interrogation requires code names. And for you, I was thinking, let's not fall too far from the tree. What do you think of the code name Butter?
Oh, Butter, Bud? Butter and Bud start with, the same sound, so that goes with me, I think. Did you have something in mind for yourself?
No.
I would just call you Ears McGee, because that's how we
fine.
met, and that's definitely a term I would use in a good sense for you, Bud. So if that works for you, I'll just call you Ears. Let's do that. Maple is clearly trying to get a rise out of Rice.
I think that's fine. Let's do it. And then he gets up and walks over to the party.
Okay. As you are walking up the dwarven woman looks up at the both of you. Hey, can I help you?
Right. I am Ears McGee, Esquire. This is my companion, Butter.
Make a
Sir
persuasion
B.
check.
Okay.
Or a deception roll. I'll let you pick.
Oh my
I did.
god.
I did persuasion.
Okay.
19.
Ears. All right. And Butter.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Bud. Pleasure.
All right. What can I do for you?
We couldn't help but notice that you all are quite outfitted for a certain kind of work, and that's what me and my pal here, Butter, do. We escort, random odd jobs, and we're just wondering if you'd been hired out of here or you're going somewhere, not to get into your business, but I think that it's important to, if you need an extra hand for a job, perhaps.
So, you're looking for work?
We're always looking for work, that's right.
Huh. All right. We
Always rolling dice.
How long you been out of the mountain?
Long enough, I suppose.
All right. Well,
You know what, Bud? You know what might be fun? Have you? It seems like it's been a little long since you've had a good wrestle, And Maple is very eagerly showing off the gun show. Maybe we could get to know each other, a little bit over a little bit of friendly one-on-one. What do you say?
so
I can show you how good I am.
with that, Maple, you feel a very large hand come down on your shoulder. And when you turn to look, there is a greened skin orc woman who looks at you. You're, I wouldn't mind going one-on-one with you.
Maple is furiously blushing. Hey, Rice, did it get a little steamy up in here, or is that just me? Hey, bud. Yeah, that sounds mighty nice. There's a table as good as any right in front of us here. How about you go ahead and take a seat? And Maple will slowly sit herself.
The orc sort of looks at you, and takes a seat. What's your name?
And looking at Rice for approval, Maple will go, Butter, that's my name. Nice to meet you, bud.
Butter, all right. Carlton.
Oh, that's a beautiful name, bud. Suits you just fine, gotta say.
What are we doing?
I just haven't had a good wrestle in a while, so I'm looking for a little bit of friendly competition. And we're, just trying to prove ourselves a little bit, so I'll take one for the team here. My bud Ears isn't really too strong in the arm area. He's more better in the head area. He did most of the talking for us today, but I've got the muscle.
Why are we at the table?
Oh, arm wrestling? Is that what it's called?
Oh.
Yeah. Claude
sure.
told me there was a name for it.
All right.
I just call it.
All right.
Okay.
What's the bet?
I don't personally have any money on me. My bud Claude has all of our money. Rice?
I'll cover you, Maple.
Okay, that sounds good. Maple's very nervous.
Hey, she looks up at Rice. How much?
5 gold.
You put a lot of faith in me,
she
bud.
nods and reaches into a pocket and puts 5 gold on the table.
Rice does the same.
Okay. All right, Maple. Carlton reaches out to take your arm. Go ahead and give me a strength roll.
Over the top.
My God, that's a 5.
All right, so your hands lock together and sort of at a collective nod in agreement. You both tense, and Carlton's strong, and you thought you were gonna have this, and suddenly your hand is being pushed, and it's not going hard and fast, but it's moving, and at the same time you can sort of feel that hand just wrapping into yours and sort of squeezing down. Give me another strength roll.
Flirting. Isn't it great?
14.
So with that, you sort of well up a little bit of energy and begin to push back, and the hand starts to go the other direction a little bit more, and Carlton looks you right in the eye and just smiles. This big, toothy, tusky smile at you. Give me another strength roll.
Okay. That's a 4.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
So, at this point, Carlton sort of looks at you, and her tongue kind of glides along her lips, and your hands come back to the middle and tense. Give me another strength roll.
I'm crying. Okay. That'd be an 11.
All right, you seeing this, and just a coursing wave of energy sort of comes up through your body, and Carlton's hand starts to go back in the opposite direction, and you are definitely beginning to get the better of this situation. And she's looking at you and begins to breathe heavily. Give me another strength roll.
That's a 7.
And now your hand comes back over, almost touching the table on the other side. And Carlton looks at you and just begins to chuckle. You're pretty. Give me one more strength roll.
We're not in initiative right now, right? Like,
No!
Okay, I just wanted to make sure there's nothing I can do to... Okay, all right. That'd be a 9.
You suddenly get this surge of energy, and their hand goes all the way back over to the other side. You've almost got them pinned. And now Carlton's eyes are like, they're flaring, and their nostrils are flaring, and you can see just this little bit of spittle coming out around the tusks. One last roll.
Bryce makes a comment.
Okay.
See, that's why we call her butter. She's quite slippery, as you say.
I see.
That's a 6.
Oh my-
Chris.
And somehow, with the last little bit of energy that you have, you take Carlton's hand down to the table. And she looks at you, just completely perplexed. Without letting go of your hand, says, well, the money's yours, but if you want another wrestle, you know where to find me. And lets go and squeezes your shoulder a little bit.
Good for Maple.
And pushes the gold across the table at you and smiles.
Get it. Fucking
Maple-
get it.
Maple will just pull out the old faithful, oh, so you come here often then, bud? Good to know. As she's furiously
We'll
wiping
see how the night
sweat
goes.
off of her brow.
Calm down there, but don't knock your hat off. All right. And then he turns back to who he was talking to.
Okay.
Whichever person that was.
The dwarven woman.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a good show.
I suppose. I suppose I'm just new to it because I see Butter do this everywhere. Just melt the hearts of everyone. So,
She's charming, I can tell you that, yeah.
something like that. But about the jobs, as far as caravan protection and things like that, have you heard anything about jobs like that, or what specifically you would say that it is that you do?
So what exactly is it that you do here?
Exactly.
So she looks at you. We're coming through, but there's work on the mayor's door if you're looking for work. How is it? Just the two of you?
No, it's not.
How?
I believe we're already looking into the mayor's door. You're passing through. You know of work elsewhere. I doubt we're going to stay here. So.
I doubt we're gonna stay here either. There's always work to be found. Where'd you come from?
Well, where did we come from? Many places. A little town called Siva.
Oh, it's a shithole. All right.
Correct.
Probably
Accurate.
probably not much there, but
There is not.
if
The people are worse than that, actually.
there's we came here to see about probably the same thing you came here for. We didn't take the job, so
Might I ask why?
Didn't like the feel of it.
Didn't like the feel of it. Well, I don't like the feel of most things.
You
As far as
you might be what they're looking for a little bit more than me.
I appreciate your assumptions.
Maple is still, she's twirling her finger in her hair. She is in a completely different world right now. She'll elbow Rice and go, you know what, ears? She's a little bit flustered, out of breath. I'll tell you what, if there's a feel for anything to feel good about around these parts here, I'll tell you what, the hand of a good woman is really high on my list right now. Okay, so if you need a little pick-me-up, I'd suggest, and she just gestures across the table. She cannot make eye contact. She's beside herself.
Carlton looks at you. Do you want to go?
Oh my god.
Take a walk?
I think Mabel will compose herself for a second and say, you know what, bud? I think I really need to be looked after right now, or I'm gonna make some questionable. Yeah,
But,
those choices.
but
So I
want
think
to-
Ears is gonna look after me for a bit, but maybe later, once Ears gets the information they need.
I'm gonna go outside. If you want to go for a walk, you can join me. And Carlton sort of stands up and very purposefully arches her back and then turns and walks outside. Rice, you were speaking.
Yes, I was just going to mention we have that thing to do tonight, which is going to take up the entire time period in which the walk would exist in. So, you don't necessarily need to go. There's your excuse. And for you, appreciate the kind words, and I think there's a potential here that we might end up hiring you a lot, and I was also just curious because there are bigger jobs, and we might have gotten wind of one. But what are your daily rates, you would say?
What's the job?
Oh, the usual, killing people.
What kind of people?
Very bad people.
How many very bad people?
That's part of the problem, really. We don't know specifically, and if I were to tell you, then later you would look at me and say, oh, you said there was only this many people, when clearly I just don't know. But there is a fair amount, let's just say.
Somewhere probably between a few and a bunch.
Correct.
All right. No range. We're just going to go after a random amount of people.
10-ish.
10-ish.
10-ish. Maybe 20.
All right. See, those are two very different numbers.
Right. I can
some
see how that makes...
Some might say double. So, not knowing anything more, 100 gold a day for each of us.
All right. Fair enough.
You come back with some better information, maybe we can talk.
Mabel will look at Rice and go, is that a lot, bud?
But
you look like you're a little spooked.
I wouldn't say spooked. I just think it's funny how much you're going to be arm wrestling so that we can afford these old chaps.
You go play in the game over there, see if you get lucky.
Well, I appreciate your time. I think I'm going to go fuck off now, so...
Again, you come back with some real information, maybe we can talk real numbers, but you come with nothing, I don't know what you want.
Noted.
All right.
I also walk away, and do we already have a room set out if Rice asked is this the same place? I don't think it is.
No, you are in the Vagabond. Your rooms are at the Mew.
But it's time to leave. And put your hood up or something so that other person, you know.
But I'm not really sure what a hood is, but I do have that spare shirt. I guess I could put over my face.
Actually, I have a better idea. Why don't you just and Rice gestures for her to walk over to the door and quietly explains to her, just act like you're going to puke for the next few minutes as we walk out, and then they won't necessarily bother you. And then you won't have to worry about it. Just pretend. Do you ever eat a bad pancake, and then afterward, your tummy feels a little topsy-turvy?
Bud, I can definitely say that I have. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure that I will be able to make that request come true. I was a little bit taken aback about the events of this evening. I'm not really used to this kind of behavior from myself. I'm not sure what I'm feeling right now, but I'm not sure if it's good or bad. So I think I'm just gonna walk out, looking like I have somewhere to be. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And as long as you can hold a little bit of a talking back and forth with me on our way out, then I think I won't get so distracted.
Rice has already
that.
opened the door and is starting to walk.
Okay,
Easily done. As you two leave, Maple, if you look around at all, you will notice that Carlian is sort of over at the far end away from the door, and seeing you walk out with Rice sort of makes a face and mutters and turns around and goes around the corner of the building without saying anything.
But does she see? So Maple quickly, hopefully without Rice seeing, will reach into her pocket and pull out a small whittle of a large sun hat that is kind of her signature whittle, and drop it on the ground in good favor of their little tussle.
Okay.
Hoping that she'll pick it up and remember her that way.
All right. Having seen you do that, you would you catch eyes with one another, and Carlian gives you just a little bit of a toothy smile as you walk away.
Okay, that's good.
All right. Anara and Verona, you two make your way to the library. Are you doing anything along the way?
So Verona, I know a couple of days ago you'd asked a couple of questions about where we're from and such.
Yes, and I have a couple more after that interesting conversation.
How about you ask your questions and we'll go from there?
Your nobility.
Not quite. My family is more public servants, if you will. We have alliances with important houses, but we're not nobility ourselves.
Well, that doesn't explain anything, actually. So, you may as well ask what you ask away, because I'm going to be thinking about this for a little bit. Number of assumptions. Don't want to make.
Yes, assumptions are never good. I guess one question I had was, what brought you to the Politeia?
Oh, many things. Honestly, I wasn't actually planning on staying here too long. I want to make my way. Did you hear about the new continent? The new discovery?
No, I haven't.
Yes, well, the Commonwealth has been doing some good there, and I figured I may as well make my way over there, see if things could be found, or if help can be had, so on and so forth.
Sounds like quite an adventure.
I mean, adventure, choice, thing to do.
Understandable.
What about
Were
you? You left home as well.
Yes. Let's just say that there was a differing of opinions that made it expedient that I should leave home. Not quite ready to explain all the details, but needless to say, going home's not an option for us right now.
And I suppose just like Azaris, we might have to worry about what it is you bring to the table at some point.
For myself, no. What follows me, I hope not.
You know, you're not what I expected.
How so?
When I left the Commonwealth, and I fully expected to maybe run into a drow or two, you were not what I expected. You're half-brother, whatever you are, closer. But you have compassion. Or at least you can fake it convincingly. I suppose you can't really fake compassion. And I can't shake the feelings that there's more to rise than the thorns that he puts out. It's curious.
He has his prickly side that he tends to favor more than not, but he's a good man. At least he's growing into one.
Still doesn't really answer the question of why. It's very clear that I have no allegiance to the group in one way or another. I mean, frankly speaking, if we decide not to go after these children, I have a admittedly stupid idea, but one nonetheless that I would pursue. So, why do the two of you continue forward? I understand that you have compassion for the children, but
for Rice, I cannot speak. For myself, I grew up in a world where punishments were handed out and made to feel like a good thing. I did take quite a bit of it in place of Rice to protect him. And even though it was painful at the time, I saw how happy or how much better off Rice was because of it. So I'm looking to possibly do that more.
And you think that we are the best influences to have around Rice?
I think any influence is a good influence on Rice.
For once, I can't disagree.
Here's a thought, though. One that I know that has frequently brought Rice joy in his life. Have you ever heard of Siege Ball?
DM, is that a thing that I would have even heard of?
Go ahead and give me a history roll.
Yes. I haven't rolled all night. This is exciting.
So Verona, you hear about sports?
19.
You
I
have
know all about the sports.
you have absolutely heard about Siege Ball as being this very intense, sort of faux combat game that is played among the drow as a way of settling scores without intentionally resorting to bloodshed. It is sort of this, your understanding of it is that it is this very sort of gladiatorial sport that is used to sort of settle bets and settle arguments without it actually coming down to combat.
I have heard of it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Rise is quite fond of it.
It's one thing that we definitely enjoyed together as he
That
was
checks
growing
out.
up.
That checks out 100%.
So maybe we can get a game together.
I confess, I have never played, but well, wouldn't be the worst thing to do. I will confess the mission at hand comes first, but maybe once we have a
course.
happy ending.
Well, I think a happy ending is a long way off, but it's a start.
Happy endings are what we make. I mean,
Like,
frankly speaking, if we get out, live, rescue the children, bring them home, that is a happy ending in my books.
agreed. It's at least something to celebrate if we are successful.
100%. I think the library is around here somewhere.
You make your way to the library with ease. As you arrive, Cloud and Aziris, you have been dutifully taking notes and looking at things, gaining knowledge. Aziris, as you are flipping through pages in this book, you feel that crackle up the back of your neck. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Gladly. I love doing that, particularly. Good. 9.
You feel what feels like a hand reaching in through the back of your skull and getting a hold of your brain.
Good.
And you hear, "You think you can hide from me, child? You can never hide from me." And you are frightened.
Fantastic. Do I need to run in any particular direction since I do not see any particular threat?
Nope, you just have to run.
Wonderful. Cool.
You
yep,
can pick a direction.
Lovely. Aziris immediately, as soon as he feels that in his brain, just jolts upright, slams his hands down, and just books it out of the library.
There's like a pause, and like Cloud is like looking around and like looks at the cleric and just looks out the door and then says quietly, "Maybe he had to poop or something."
Perhaps. It is late in the day. If you would like to take the tablets
yes,
with
yes,
you,
no.
you may.
I'll give him the 5 gold and take the tablets out.
When you bring them back, you will get it
Yeah.
back. Thank you. And he ushers you out as you see Verona and Nara walking up. Aziris, go ahead and give me another saving throw.
Yay! Oh, I'm having so much fun. 18.
You get maybe 100 feet away from the building before you slowly feel almost the sensation of fingernails dragging across your brain and it coming out of your head, and you sort of shake your head and come to a stop. Anara and Verona, you have seen this. You've seen Aziris just come bolting out of this building at a dead sprint and get a little ways away from the building and just shudder and shake and sort of collapse to the ground, hands and knees. And that's where we're going to take our break. So we will see you all in 15 minutes. Get a fresh drink and see you in a bit. And we are back. So, when we left off, Aziris had just come bolting out of the library in terror, running past Verona and Anara coming up, fell to his hands and knees. Cloud, you have come out the door at the same time as all of this, having seen him run out and having been sort of shuffled out of the building by Yakorin, who is perfectly happy to lock up behind you, to see all of this happening. So, what are y'all doing?
Anara, having seen this, draws her rapier and runs over to Aziris. Are you okay? What happened?
Aziris is just like, he's got a hand on his head and he's just muttering to himself, still probably shaking a little bit. And he's just going like, I didn't let you in. I didn't let you in. How did you? And just muttering to himself. I don't think he's quite noticed you yet.
I will come up
Verona's-
and just say, I don't know what happened. We were just researching things like normal, and then he ran out like this. Can we try to help him up?
Anara tries to help Aziris out.
Aziris, do you allow them to help you up?
Yeah. I think
Easily done.
as you guys do, he will probably come to his senses and stop muttering and look over to you guys and just be like, he just kind of like looks around to see if anything else has happened or if it was just to him. He sees nothing.
Look around as well. Nothing is. There's nothing
Anara's
here.
looking around
Mm-hmm.
as well, trying to see if anything's happening. Still got her rapier
Yep.
drawn.
Yep.
There is nothing for any of you to see.
Yep.
Well, let's
Right.
maybe just give you some rest.
I think that's a good idea.
All right. We'll head to the inn where we're going to meet up to everybody.
Easily done. So all of you make your way back to the Mew, arriving in your separate little pods. You find Fen sitting there. Quarrel comes over and lets you know that he does have 3 rooms that he can give you. And
Oh no, we're gonna have to share.
and
Oh,
and
no.
and hands and puts 3 keys down and says, but however, tonight's on me. Tomorrow we can talk if you need to stay more. We'll work something out, but I can do tonight for what you
You are
did.
quite kind. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All
Bryce
right.
is going to grab one of the keys
'Kay.
and look at Nara and Aziris and say, for the mountain people.
I will take a key and be like, Maple, you can tell me all about your evening. I'm sure it was pretty interesting.
Maple just bites her lips and nods furiously.
Okay.
Finn just says, well, you don't have to pay me, Verona, to stay. I guess that's us 2 of us this time, but seems like y'all found out some stuff, so maybe we can figure out a plan of attack or something tomorrow morning and see if there's something, that we can do.
Yes.
Agreed. Speaking of what we can do, I did talk to somebody at the Red Boar Inn. Unfortunately, the archaeologist wasn't there, so we're going to have to wait a few days for that one. But I did leave a message for them to contact us here.
Well, there's always that board by the mayor. We can go check that out tomorrow then and maybe find something.
Yeah, perhaps we can make some allies along the way that will be helpful for us for like the future. What is this? Unfaithful peoples.
Great. Maple, Rice, what did you find out at the Vagabond?
We found out a lot. However, the only perhaps useful bit of information would be that group over there won't be staying long. We might hire them, but right now their rate is 100 gold pieces each. They're basically assholes, so I don't know if they
Was
would
the
be
fit fighting?
necessarily. What was that, Verona?
Oh, nothing. I'm glad that you and the Maple were able to find out so much.
Oh yeah, you know what? I gotta tell you what, bud. Rice also gave us nicknames. You wanna know
Nicknames,
what?
you
names?
say?
You wanna know what his is?
I'm all ears.
Ears McGee. What do you think? I think it suits him pretty well.
I'm going to remember this one.
That definitely suits you, brother.
Clarification, I did not come up with my own nickname, first of all, because it's lame. And secondly, her name is Butter.
He really is a teenager.
All right.
Maple nods in approval, and we'll meet with Cloud so they can go up to their room.
Okay.
Cloud and Mabel exchange conversation before bed.
Okay. Everybody heads up to bed. Aziris, are you going to join the mountain group?
May as well.
Okay.
Once they do get up there and start to settle in, he is going to cast alarm on the room
Okay.
ritually.
Sure.
Yeah,
Easily done.
Finn will cast Good Berry as well.
Okay. Yeah, so if you have any other spells you want to cast before bed, go ahead and do that to take care of that. And then
I
you
guess
can.
Cloud would just cast Detect Magic for fun ritually,
Okay.
but I don't think anything's gonna pop up.
Okay. Go for it.
I do it in the room. It takes 10 minutes.
Okay. Nothing pops up.
Then I go to bed.
Yep, nothing pops up. Actually, Maple, you have your notes on you, don't you?
I do.
Cloud, when you detect magic, there is a very faint magical glow that sort of emanates from Maple's backpack.
Okay. Cloud was not expecting that, so
It would actually probably be more. She keeps those in a small satchel, like around her waist, so it would probably be even more noticeable than
From
it would be on her
wherever
back.
the notes are, you see
Yeah.
a little bit of.
noted. I will write it down
Okay.
and then go to bed.
All
Maple
right.
will whittle a small goddess among orcs before bed.
Easily done. All right, so you get a long rest. Make sure you tick that box, prepare whatever spells you need for the day, and as morning comes, you come to as you choose and make your way downstairs, I presume.
Yes.
All right,
think
you.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if it's okay with everyone, I feel like we could just like head over to the board. But if you have stuff to do in the morning, that's okay too.
Bryce got nothing.
Sears
Dara's
is good
got
to go.
nothing.
All right. So you get yourselves together. Coral tells you that he will hold the rooms for the day. And if you come back in the evening, they're yours. So easily done. You head out and head over to the mayor's. The same notice is still up from when you first approached the board. The options being one saying condottieri needed, inquire within. The other saying mine clearing, Elrond's gems, reward. And the last one saying laborers needed at the Temple of the Raven Queen.
Finn, how well do you know the area?
Uh, what, DM,
You
how well?
you don't really know the area well. It would really just be kind of the travel in and out of the area that you are familiar with, but you haven't ventured off the road too far in this part.
Well,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, Verona, I haven't really, don't know much. I just kind of brought you here and I've come here, but I don't really know the city or the other areas that well.
That's fine. I'm just wondering which of these will we can get done within a day or two.
Well, I do know that if we are going to rescue those children, we will need some practice in a cave.
Yeah, that was my question, DM. By mine clearing, does that mean like going into a mine or like landmines type of mine?
There are, as
Just
far
step on
as
them all.
you know, there would not be, and you would have never heard of anything like a land mine.
Yeah,
Okay.
teleported to
That-
the Eastern Europe, Western Front.
Yeah, that does not
Never heard of
exist in the context of your brain. The only mine that you would be aware of is either a hole in the ground or ownership.
Okay. Yes, I also agree with Anara. The mine quest sounds interesting.
Especially since there might be the possibility of maybe secreting away some of these gems.
Why would you want
Oh.
to secret them away?
Well, they're not going into any good use within the mine. They could do us a lot of good.
This is a
Oh,
side
you
of
mean
Anara I
collecting
have.
them and giving them back to the people that are mining them?
Verona,
That's very.
do you think anyone here cares about us? Clearly not. So, there's nothing wrong with looking out for ourselves.
But we can take care of ourselves just fine.
We can take care of ourselves better.
We could continue discussing this and
It's
the
on the
moral
way to
ethics,
sign.
but why don't we just go ahead and pull this sign off and see what this is actually about?
All right. So the sign itself says freelances for mine clearing, Elrond's gems, reward. It is easy enough to ask someone where Elrond's gems is. I assume then that you will head that way.
Yes.
Okay. You wend your way through town a little bit, and you come in the area that you were directed to, and you find a one-story stone building with iron bars on the windows and on the door. There's a wooden door that is open, and then this iron barred door. It looks like what a jailhouse would look like in a lot of respects. But there is a sign above the door that says Elrond's Gems.
Very fancy place. We'll go in.
Okay. You go up the iron grate is locked, but a simple knock brings forth a very fancily dressed elf. They are wearing a hat with a feather in it. Their clothes are these flowing reds and purples and greens. Yes? Can I help you?
We saw your sign for work, and we wanted to inquire about more information.
Oh, for the mine job?
Yes.
One moment. And you hear they go back inside. You hear a door slam, the jingle of keys. You can hear a loud thunk. And they come back to the door and open the door and open it and come in. And as you come in, you can see that there is another area that is just completely barred off, and behind those bars are just all sorts of jewelry. There are these diamond encrusted pieces, ruby encrusted pieces, emerald encrusted pieces. I mean, this is beautiful work, and it is very securely locked away. Well, I will tell you, my mine has been taken over by kobolds. And with them in there, I am unable to get my laborers doing their work. And if they cannot work, they cannot feed their families because I cannot pay them. So, if you are up for killing kobolds, well, there's money to be made.
And how much money are we talking?
50 gold for every pair of ears you bring back.
Every pair, you say? I think that can be done.
A left and a right, yeah.
Clarification question about that. What if we run into a kobold with only one ear? Do we just bring back the
Bob
skull?
just punches Rice in the chest. I'm kidding. Playfully.
How many of these kobolds have infested this mine?
I can't rightly say, but my manager who runs the mine itself, Mirador is his name. Mirador would be going with you to show you how to get there and to make sure there is no malfeasance. Looking at all of you.
Understood. How
That's nice.
how long to get to the mine?
It's only about half a day's work. My folks walk there each day to and from.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
let's
great.
get started then.
Yes.
How many
let's go.
kobolds?
I believe there are at least 6. I don't know if there are more.
How big is the mine?
Well, if you've spent some time underground, right?
Not at all. Please tell me everything you know.
All right. Well, he describes the general layout of the mine, giving you a sense of it is probably going to take you. It would be about 2 hours worth of travel to get from the very entrance all the way into the farthest reaches that they have explored and begun clearing.
Thank you for your very thorough explanation. I'm the amateur of the group, if you didn't
You know,
notice.
Rice, I'm starting to understand what Onara said when she said that you make lots of jokes.
I don't know what you mean. We're done here, right?
I think
What?
so.
Is
Yeah.
there this Mirador is going to guide us there, you said?
Yeah, if he lives in the building behind here. If you just go, he will.
All right, I'll go get it.
And Mirador happily joins you, informs you of that when they were chased out of the mine, that there were 6 kobolds that came in and forced their way in, attacking with various weapons.
Well, at least we outnumber them if there's only 6. Why don't you show us the way out there and we can go see if we can go take care of this problem and at least get them to abandon the mine.
Oh, all right. And Mirador leads you. It is about an hour's walk to get to the mine. You are just north of the town itself, getting into the front range where the hills sort of really commence. And let me go ahead and when you approach the front of the mine, you see that there are carts about and there are piles of boxes sort of strewn about, which block the front entrance a bit, and you see the head of one kobold just sticking up over the top of the boxes, looking out and on patrol.
You there? Kobold, if you will.
Why are you bothering to talk to?
So, Rice, you hear a yip, and a stone comes flying and bounces off of your armor, not doing any damage. However,
Azirus clicks his tongue, shakes his head a little bit.
We're here to trade, actually, if you would take a moment and...
You should all roll initiative.
Okay.
You're like still like, oh, maybe we could. Nope.
Nope.
All right.
Oh.
Over 20. Nobody? Okay.
Silence.
20 to 15.
17.
16.
15.
Also 15.
Twinsies.
10 to 14.
14.
Oh, this is shaping up to be good for you guys.
10 for Rice, sorry.
Rice, 10.
I will be the 9
Okay.
because I'm the only one missing.
Okay.
8, 7, 6.
Let me update that real quick. Fen, you were, I'm sorry, what?
17.
17. Okay.
So that's Fen, Azirus, Drew, and Verona, Maple, Anar, Rice, and Cloud, correct?
Yes. Fen, Azirus, Maple, Verona, Anara, Rice, Cloud. Nice. All right. And let me... Okay. So, Fen. Rice has been attacked by a kobold.
With a rock.
Sort of. What would you like to do?
Can I see the kobold from where I'm at?
If you move in front of the mine, you would be able to see him. You can.
Okay.
How close do you want to be?
I'd say maybe about move around 15 feet. If that gets me to where I can see.
You are now within the front of the mine. We will say that you are 15 feet back, just for the purposes of the size of the map.
Okay, and then I would so seeing the one that had chucked a rock at Rice, I pull out my bow, pull out an arrow out of quiver, aim at it, whisper to the arrow itself as I use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark, and then I'm gonna just kind of aim and then release the arrow.
All right, so that arrow flies. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
That's a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that's going to hit. So your arrow comes sliding past this debris and makes a connection with the shoulder of this kobold, who lets out a scream for how much damage?
13 points of damage.
He shrieks and drops to the ground.
Fen, no.
And with that, in my turn.
Okay, Azirus, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Well, after seeing the rock being thrown, he watched it and was in the process of probably saying, "Oh, they're throwing rocks. I think we should probably talk to them." And then the arrow was loosed. So, can he step closer, and can he see or hear if there are any more nearby?
Sure. So you are standing relatively close to Fen at this point, and you hear shouts from deeper inside the cave.
Okay. I think he is just going to hold a sleep spell and probably place a hand on Fen's shoulder and just say, "I think maybe we should try to not kill them first." And that will be what he's just going to hold a sleep spell.
Okay.
He sees more of them.
All right. Azirus is holding a sleep spell. Verona, you are... Verona's up. and then Maple. Verona, what do you got
All
for
right.
me?
Verona is just muttering to herself, like, of course we have to, we're going to kill them and everything's going to be, definitely don't want to be there. Oh, you're just moving.
I'm just
Are
getting you in
moving?
front of the mine. So,
Okay.
Yep.
As she's muttering, she's going to write a sigil in her hand, pat Rise on the back, and use enhance ability for what do we want to give you? I believe bear's endurance, so you'll have an advantage on Constitution check, as well as you gain 2d6 temporary hit points. Just looks over to Rise.
This is just in case. You seem to take a few hits.
And that's her turn.
okay. Very good. Maple, what are you going to do?
Being that I am unsure, okay, is deeper into the mine to the right or up?
From where you are standing right now, you see the mine going straight back.
Okay.
And then starting to curve
So-
a little bit, but so you are kind of where your token is currently is just off to the side of the mine entrance by the rest of the party.
Okay. Being
can
that Mabel
move, you
does
can-
not see any immediate danger, she
Mhm.
will hold off on going into a rage. Instead, can she use her full movement to just put herself in front of the crowd,
Yep.
ready to just take rock damage?
Sure, absolutely.
Chip
You-
damage, literally.
Maple,
All
try,
right.
try not to kill them.
Does after using her movement, does she see anything?
You see another kobold who is yelling back down the passageway and who is readying a sling attack.
Okay. Then where she is right now, will she
Mhm.
be able to get to them on her next turn?
Yes.
Okay. Then Maple will go into a rage using her bonus action, and say, "Okay, bud, I've made heads roll before. I'll make a kobold go bald." So that will end her turn.
Okay, that ends Maple's turn. Rice. Sorry, Anara, you are up.
Anara is going to move all the way down there, and let's see. She's actually going to stealthily, as quietly as she can, sneak into this little alcove just inside the cave.
Okay, so just beyond the entrance on the left or on the right side?
On the right side.
Okay.
From there, can I still see the kobold that's in there?
The kobold that is still up is going to be just kind of around the corner. You can just barely see him. So if you were to try and make an attack from this position right here, it would be like 3/4 cover.
Okay. In that case, she's gonna just sit right there and wait
Okay.
to see if the kobold comes out, and she's gonna ready an attack.
Okay. What are you readying?
Daggers.
Okay. All right. So you are holding a dagger attack. All right. Rice, you are up. Cloud, you're on deck. Rice, what would you like to do?
Rice is gonna mutter to himself while he runs over and he reaches behind him to his sling with the javelins in it, pull one out and say, "Well, I tried to be nice," and then look for a target to throw a javelin at.
Okay.
See anybody?
Sure. There is a kobold who is within eye shot of you.
Okay. So he's gonna lean back and then toss the javelin,
Okay.
and he you said disadvantage? I'm sorry, 19. Roll.
You throw the javelin.
Yep.
It goes sailing in. With a little bit of cover, you still manage to connect.
4 or 5 damage.
Okay, so the javelin goes in, sinks itself into the chest of the kobold, and he collapses to the ground, giving off a blood-curdling shriek. That ends your turn?
Does. I'm done.
Cool. Cloud, what would you like to do?
I would like to move up, yes, next to everybody. Can I move next to Maple and see inside the cave a little bit?
You
Could you
can.
please move me?
That can easily be where you
Um,
are. That does not use any
okay.
of your movement. That's just where you were.
Okay, awesome. Cloud is going to, not seeing anything, be like, well, we better be prepared. I don't know how many are in here. And will take some holy water out of a tiny vial and put it on their paws, and cast Bless on Fen, Maple, and Rice. You can add a d4 to your attack and saving throws.
Okay.
That is my turn.
All right, Fen, Maple, and Rice, you are blessed. Top of the round, Fen, what would you like to do?
So these crates that are near me, how tall are they?
They are about 3 feet high, so they block. They seem like incredibly huge obstacles from the point of view of a kobold.
Okay, so not seeing a kobold in the area, I'm just going to see if I can slide or, if necessary, kind of move or push the crate to see if I can get any kind of cover while still having my bow, and then I am going to hold my attack, having heard Aziris saying you don't have to kill them. Kind of like, well, they attacked us, but I mean, and then just say, but I'll be ready.
They threw a rock.
Sling. So I'm like sitting there. So I'm just gonna hold another arrow attack, waiting to see if I see any other kobold emerge.
Okay, so you are holding an arrow attack to see if any kobolds emerge. Very good. All right, Aziris, you're up.
All right. Kobolds. Aziris is going to step in and go into the cave.
Okay. How far are you going to go into the cave?
As far as he can until he can see some kobolds.
Okay. What's your movement? 30 feet?
Yes.
That should get you to right about there. So as you come around the corner, you see two more kobolds who are readying. One is readying a dagger. The other is readying a sling.
Cool. He is going to cast sleep on them.
Okay. Go for it.
HP.
Okay, so your casting energy sort of comes out and heads in the direction of the kobolds. They get caught with that wave of magical arcane energy, and it sort of, you can see their heads sort of twitch a few times, and they both sort of pass out, falling to the ground. They are asleep.
Cool. Was that his full movement, or does he still have more?
That was your full movement.
Beautiful.
All right, so that ends your turn?
That ends his turn.
All right, Maple. What would you like to do?
I mean, Maple will move 30 feet
Okay.
into the cave as well first.
Okay, you are up by Aziris.
Okay, quick question.
Yes.
The two kobolds that are now asleep,
Uh-huh.
are they still considered hostile while
Well-
they're asleep?
They are...
Maple, no!
They...
No! Please! I'm begging you.
They would still be hostiles because they are incapacitated. They are not dead. However, do you have dark vision?
No.
You can't see those two kobolds.
Fun. Okay. Well then, I guess she's gonna lose her rage no matter what because she can't see to shoot anything.
Just
and
punch
even
his
if
ears.
No. So I think instead, what would happen if Maple used her full movement to go 30 more feet? Would she be just feeling her way through the cave?
It would be difficult terrain.
Okay.
So you would use
15 feet instead.
15 feet.
Okay.
And you would need to make a dexterity saving throw to make sure you did not injure yourself.
Okay. Well, just out of fear of Aziris being squishy, Maple will very confidently, no matter how unconfident she feels, look to where she thinks Aziris is, goes, "Look out, bud. I'll keep you safe, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and get in front. That way, if any new rocks come our way, I'll be the one to take the hit, okay?" So she will try to go 15 feet.
Okay. So you go
You said a
15
dex save?
You go 15 feet. Make a dex save for me to see if you injure yourself on the rocks at all.
Okay.
The rocks were the real enemy.
That is 12 total using bless.
Okay. So with that, you have caught, as you are moving through, a rope that you could not see in the dark. And as you trip, you hear a cracking sound and rocks come pouring down on top of you, and you take 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
This is before my rage ends, correct?
Yes! So
Okay.
it does keep your rage up.
I was
Beautiful.
joking.
All right, and that will end.
We're not supposed to be the enemy.
Maple will whimper under the rocks. "Okay, Aziris, I think I messed up, bud," and that'll end her turn.
Okay. With that, Verona, you are now up.
All right. Well, hearing the commotion, she just brings her hand up to the badge on her hat, and covering it, concentrates for a second, and then when she brings it away, she's cast light on the badge itself.
Okay.
So that.
He's got a headlamp.
Okay.
And going to run straight in.
Okay.
She has dark vision anyways. So, it's all good. And how bad does Maple look?
Hold on here. Let me get back to what the hell just happened to my screen. Stand by.
The entire time that everyone was saying, "and that ends my turn," I just couldn't stop thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh.
So
I put one card face down.
So you reach. You're in visual range of Maple on the end of your movement. Maple is a little beat up. She looks a little bloodied and has had a bunch of rocks fall on her.
Not fun. Okay. It's one action. In that case, I can't really do what I was planning on, but she'll just get behind Aziris and provide light and just.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Maple. I will help you in just a sec.
And that's her turn.
Okay, very good. Anara, you have just watched Maple dart past you, heard a cracking and a crashing sound, and then seen Verona go dashing past you as well. What would you like to do?
Nara is going to move 30 feet deeper into the mine.
Okay.
Pulling up her sun visor blindfold thingy, enjoying the darkness that's all around her.
Okay, that gets you up next to Verona.
With all of my wonderful dark vision, is there anything that I see in here?
So you see, as the As the cave continues, you are in a wide spot. You see two sleeping kobolds on the ground. As you go a little bit further in, you see a very narrow passage that on the other side of it you can see into, opens up into another larger space.
Anara's going to use her cunning action and use the dash feature to move another 30 feet deeper into the
Okay.
cave.
All right, so that will get you right up near that narrow space, but you would not be able to make it through until the next round.
Okay. Can I see anything through that narrow passage?
You can see through that narrow passage that it opens up into, there seems to be a room that goes off further away from you, a large hallway that goes off to your left, and another hallway that goes off to the right. You can't quite see much beyond that. You do hear the sound of more kobolds, however.
Okay. I'm going to pick up for my action, I'm going to pick up my piece of copper wire out of my pocket and point in the direction of Rice.
Okay.
And say, in a whisper, I've got a very tight pinch point up here. I think there might be quite a few more kobolds just past this area. You can reply to this message.
No.
Okay. Rice, you reply to the message.
All right.
Okay. Anara, does that end your turn?
That ends my turn.
All right, Rice, what would you like to do?
He's gonna full run and then sort of scramble over. I think he has enough if he dashes and uses his action to
Sure.
go over where Maple is and say, "Oh, better luck next time."
Sure. So you're going to use your full movement and dash.
Yeah, to try and catch up
All
with
right,
Anara.
that'll get you up by Anara.
Okay.
Okay. That's your turn, Cloud.
Cloud will look at Fen. I really don't think that. I mean, I don't know about these creatures, but I don't think they can be reasoned with. And we'll follow in. I don't know how far my movement can take me, but can you move me? And then I will assess from there.
Sure. Your movement will get you up just by Aziris. You can see
All
Maple. And you can see you can see with your dark vision, you can see Rice and Anara as far as they have gotten.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and dash to see if I can catch up to Anara and Rice.
Easily done. I will move you, and that ends your turn.
It does.
Okay. Top of the round, Fen. What would you like to do?
Finn looks to his left, looks to his right, and like, well, I guess we're going in. And so with his movement, 35 feet, he's just gonna move into the cave to see what he sees from there.
Okay, that gets you up by Verona. You can see Maple still not having yet gotten up. Verona with her badge glowing of light, creating a pale light in the entire space. You, with your dark vision, can see Cloud and Anara and Rice up ahead of you, up by this narrow passage.
Well, I seeing that, looking at Maple, being like, well, I guess we better make sure she's okay, and I'm gonna bend down with my action. I'm gonna stuff her with some good berries.
Okay, easily done. How many do you
Just
give
like
her?
cram them in there. Let's say 5.
Okay.
Like,
Maple, you are force-fed 5 good berries as though you were a goose being prepared for pate, and in this case recover 5 hit points and may choose whether or not you take psychic damage from that. But I'll let that be a choice on your part. Fen, does that end your turn?
that ends my turn.
All right, Aziris, you are up. What would you like to do?
Full movement forward
Okay.
to join with the gaggle.
Okay. You have gaggled?
Cool.
Just
and
past the
we
geese?
We can hear.
You can
The
hear
kobolds?
kobolds. You can hear just this echoing sound back in the caverns of kobolds chittering and.
Cool. Sorry, I'm debating how stupid he's going to be. Give me a second. I think he will just hold another sleep. And he will just attempt once more to say to the others, please try not to kill them. And that's it right now. He's just holding sleep until he sees more for now.
Okay, you are holding sleep. That is the end of your turn. Maple, what would you like to do?
First of all, will Maple take damage getting out of the rocks?
No, you can stand up. You were injured by the rocks, but you will not necessarily take damage from the rocks.
Okay, then in interest of maintaining rage, Maple will take psychic damage from being force-fed Goodberry.
Not a problem. So, go ahead, and I will just roll. You take 4 points of psychic damage from the non-consensual force feeding of Goodberries.
Cool. Okay, well then Maple will attempt once again to use her full movement, trying to swallow these berries. I'm gonna go, okay, thanks, bud. Like, for whoever, she doesn't know who did it.
Okay.
So yeah, she'll scooch on over to wherever she can get, I guess, not being able to see a darn
All right,
thing.
so half your movement to get up from being knocked prone by the rocks, and then you can use the remainder of your movement to move forward, which is going to bring you up by Aziris and the rest of the group. Verona, how big of a circle does your light cast?
It is, and I'm just pulling it up. The object sheds bright light in 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet.
Okay, so Maple, you can still see.
Okay, would she be able to use, if it takes half of her movement to get up, she would still have 30 feet using a dash action? Could she move in front of the group?
You can...
I know you said it was a small passageway.
It is a small passageway. It is at this point where Anara and Rice are. There would be no way to move past them.
Cool.
So.
That'll do.
All right. That ends your turn, Verona. What would you like to do?
Maple, just come up behind Maple. At this point, anyone who's looking will just see her eyes kind of flash as she smacks Maple on the back and uses her healing hands.
Okay.
To give her 3 additional points of healing.
Okay.
Be a little careful. Don't worry. Rice has a little more protection than you right now. Just let him soak a couple of hits up. Don't worry.
And I think that's a full action, so no bonus action. Yeah, that's
all right.
I end my turn.
All right, Maple, you can go ahead and add 3 hit points to yourself. Anara, you are up. What would you like to do?
Anara would like to stealth.
Okay. And you are going to do what?
Well, after I figure out what the stealth roll is, she's going to move 15 feet
as
quietly as possible from where she is through the passage.
Okay. What's your...
Let's see. What is that? That would be a... Let's see. Because it's dark in here, would I have advantage on the roll?
You would not have advantage because you are up against creatures who have dark vision.
Okay. In that case, it's an 8.
Okay. So you, thinking you are being stealthy, advance 15 feet.
Oh, boy. Kobolds. Hello, kobolds. I say very quietly in my own head. And I will quickly move an additional 15 feet to my right.
Okay, so you will move 15 more feet away from the kobolds using the rest of your movement.
Yes, and I will use my cunning action to hide.
All right.
And then with my action, I'm going to pull up my copper wire again and point towards Rice and say, there's another 4 kobolds in here, just past the squeeze point. You can reply to this message.
Okay. Rice, do you reply to the message?
He just says, "All right."
Okay. Anara, that ends your turn.
That ends my turn.
All right, Rice, what would you like to do?
Rice is going to draw his longsword and squeeze through the area.
Okay.
And immediately look around for said name kobolds, of which
Okay.
he has been warned of.
All right, so as you come through the passage and stand up, there are 4 kobolds standing there.
As soon as he sees the kobolds, he says, "Fantastic," and then he swings his longsword at one of them.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack.
An 8.
Okay, so you go to make a big
Bless
swing.
you. Bless. I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
how-
did you add your
Just
bless?
Oh, I did
D4.
not.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Wow, good call.
Good
I
reminder.
don't think-
Good
I
reminder,
don't think
Cloud.
it'll help
Bless
that.
everyone's
No,
mouth.
it's a 9 now. It's all I rolled a 1.
Okay,
Good.
so you go, you feel this surge of energy that connects, and then that causes you to become distracted, and you manage to miss the kobold, who dodges back out of the way. At that, it is the kobold's turn. So, Rice, the kobold that you have just swung your axe at, goes to make a dagger attack on you, and as he lunges, he trips and falls at your feet on the ground. The second kobold close to you, seeing this, sort of barks in anger and frustration, makes an attack with a dagger, slams a dagger into your chest. A 19 hits.
Does.
Okay, so the dagger finds a gap in your armor and slides in there, doing 5 points of piercing damage.
Cool.
The third kobold, seeing this, is going to use his full movement, seeing his compatriot having succeeded so well, and is also going to make a dagger attack on you. He goes, you seeing it sort of get out of the way and manage to avoid being hit. The fourth and final kobold here is going to approach you and also make a dagger attack. He also just manages to miss you, the blade just kind of skittering off your armor. So
Is this amateur?
that ends the kobold's turn. Cloud, what would you like to do?
Seeing everybody run through, I will follow.
Okay.
I'll just pop out right next to Rice and a bunch of kobolds and be like, "Oh, well, Cloud will cast a spiritual weapon.
Okay.
And materialize the long pole with the little rope and the
Okay.
feather at the end of it.
All right.
And whap a kobold with it, or
All
attempt to.
All right. Go ahead and make your attack.
All right, here we go. I think I need to. That's pretty bad. I think it's a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
All right. So your feather toy comes down and you just miss the kobold that you're going for. You seem to have not quite got the handle on the distances with this spiritual weapon yet. So you're still trying to figure out the ranging.
I hiss slightly.
Okay.
Can I move back 5 feet, or would that be leaving
Yes.
melee?
You have not gotten past Rice, so Rice is technically in melee. You haven't come past him yet.
Okay.
So yes,
I'll
you can move back
to
5
make
feet.
space for somebody else.
Okay.
And
Easily
I'll
done.
pass the turn.
Easily done. Top of the round, Fen.
Finn, does Finn see the 2 asleep kobolds?
You certainly do.
Finn's gonna be like, well, maybe this cave's deeper than we thought, and so he's gonna move up and use his action to tie them up.
Okay, easily done. You
And be like, all right, sounds like there's more ahead, and then use his movement to follow where the others, where he hears the commotion and where he saw the others going through.
okay? You can use your movement, and you'll get up close to that entrance. You'll be able to go through on your next turn.
Okay. That's
All right.
It's Finn's turn.
Aziris, what would you like to do?
Aziris would like to move forward enough until he can see the kobolds.
Okay, you can do that. You can come through and use your movement to get through the opening.
Wonderful. Let me see. Sorry, I'm just checking the 20-foot. Cool. Again, he's gonna cast sleep.
Okay.
For shits and giggles, he is going to include Rice in the circle.
Outstanding.
Oh no. 25. It does start with the lowest HP.
Yep.
Starting with a creature that has the lowest current hit points.
Yep. So all 3 kobolds fall asleep. Rice, what are your current hit points?
Like 30 something.
Okay. Rice, you feel
40.
a weird sensation sort of crawl around in your brain and just manage to kind of shrug it off.
Rice's gonna look at Aziris and be like, really?
Aziris just sets his staff down and kind of smiles.
Okay.
Sorry, point of clarification.
Yes.
Was there 4 kobold or 3 kobold?
There are 3,
Okay.
he says.
For some reason I thought there was 4, and I was like, so wait,
Yeah,
is one
I
still
saw
up?
4.
Like,
Yeah, I think there were 4. Didn't the first one like trip?
Did I? Hold on. Maybe I lost a kobold. It happens.
they're sneaky buggers. They just get everywhere.
Anara, when you came through, you had seen a kobold you no longer see.
Why is playing tricks on me?
Magic.
All right, that's Aziris'
Gotta get these
turn.
peepers turned.
Okay. End of Aziris' turn. Maple, you are up. What would you like to do?
Maple will use her movement to try and squeeze through the opening. I'm not sure, depending on where Aziris ended up, if she'll be able to get all the way through.
Okay.
Use that butter.
For you are able to get through. That will use up all of your movement because for you it would be difficult terrain.
Okay, there are no kobolds left standing?
There are no
Right.
kobolds that you can see because you have now moved into darkness again.
Okay. This is gonna be so stupid. I'm gonna regret this. You're gonna hate me. Okay. To keep her rage, can Maple turn around and punch the wall? And take
100%.
damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and make an unarmed strike against the wall. You connect. Don't worry. So just your unarmed strength damage. Unarmed strike.
Of course, that's a 23.
Cool. Yeah, you hit the wall. You
I
do a
just
great
rolled
job.
just
You
for
just
kicks.
you are just so pissed. You just punch the wall as hard as you can.
Awesome. I rolled max damage against myself. Great. Okay,
Phenomenal.
that's a
You-
4.
All right, you do a wonderful job of keeping your rage up.
Okay.
We are all very proud of you.
Silently
real.
winces. And that
Okay.
will end her-
And that will end her turn. Verona, you have just seen Maple squeeze through a hole, hear a thuddy, fleshy sound, and a grunt. What would you like to do?
It really is like herding cats. No offense, Cloud.
She's gonna squeeze through. Does Maple, you have your axe out, right?
Yes.
Okay. She's just gonna look around, look at your axe,
Just,
and puts her hand against the side of it, casting light again to remove the one on her head.
I feel like you're going to get more use out of this than me. Please stop hurting yourself.
Okay.
And that's her turn.
All right. I'm going to move you just inside the room. Anara, you are up. What would you like to do? You now
Um,
have a
in-
gaggle of people in front of you. So you are
in
very
this-
well hidden.
Yes, in this little nook area that I'm in, what do I see?
There are a bunch of chests. You count about 6 different chests. They all are locked with heavy padlocks.
Are they trapped? Or can I check and see if they're trapped?
You can make an investigation check.
Check
All
for
right.
traps.
18.
None of them appear to be trapped that you look at.
Okay. Can I go up to the closest one to me and attempt to unlock it?
Go ahead. Make a
Thieves' tool.
thieves tool check.
Let me see if I can do this. That's 1d20 plus a bunch of stuffs. 7 plus my dexterity of +3, so that's 10 plus double proficiency, so that's 14.
14. You go in to pick the lock, and you haven't quite done this before, and just before your pick would break, you realize that you should hold up, and you stop.
That's my turn.
All right, that ends your turn. Rice, you are up.
The kobold in front of him, is it asleep or is it still
Yes,
standing?
all 3 kobolds that are at your
Okay.
feet are asleep.
He's going to advance down the cavern.
Okay. Full
and see
movement, or?
what- Yeah, he'll go full movement and see what he can see.
Okay. As you come through another small opening ahead of you, you see a small campfire burning and 3 more kobolds standing around it.
Okay, so he sees the kobolds and he's going to say, hello, and then pull out a javelin and throw it at one.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll.
The most aggressive hello of all time.
15.
Okay, the javelin connects, slamming into the shoulder of the kobold, doing how much damage?
6.
And that kobold drops dead on the ground as far as you can tell. At that, the other 2 kobolds put their hands up and begin chittering away. At you.
Well, I don't have to kill you, but you can take your chances talking with me if you want.
All right. That ends your turn?
Does.
All right. So the 2 kobolds who are still standing put their hands up. What are you speaking to them in?
Be undercommon.
Okay. The one kobold returns back to you in undercommon. Why are you trying to take our home? What's wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me. I was just paid to do this, so either we kill all of you or we work out some arrangement and then you can leave.
Who sent you?
Yeah. Oh, that's of no importance, and it really doesn't matter to you, I don't think. This is the present danger. I am the present danger. You should talk with me, not worry about other people.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 19.
Okay. The kobolds, realizing the situation that they're in, fine, we'll talk. And at least for now, that will end combat. Who would like to move up and join Rice?
Anara definitely will.
Okay, Anara will move up and join Rice. Who else would like to move up and join Rice?
Azirus is tying up the kobolds there.
Not a problem.
Aaron is
Helping.
helping.
Okay, easily done.
Assuming if those 2 are good tying up, Cloud will move forward as well.
Okay. Maple, what would you like to do?
Maple will follow, just absolutely flabbergasted that her axe is now glowing.
Not a problem.
She'll look around and say, who did this?
All right. Fen, what would you like to do?
Finn's gonna whisper behind Maple and be like, no, sorry, just rave days. No, Finn's gonna come up and look around and just like see more asleep, another dead. Do we still get paid by a pair of ears? Was that the deal? And then walk up to join.
Okay, joining Rice and Anara, that group? Or staying with Verona and Aziris?
I'm actually going to stay with Verona and Aziris.
Okay, easily done. All right, so the other 3 kobolds are the other 2 kobolds, because Rice has killed one of them, very gingerly approach to parley with you. Rice, they look at you. Did the jeweler send you? Was it him?
Might have been.
He
about to offer me a deal?
He stole our home. He banished us. We just took it back. He sends you here to kill us.
Accurate assessment of the situation, correct. Are you trying to sway me with your, I don't know, ethical position that you own this mine or something?
Why should we be thrown out?
I don't understand why you think that I give a shit if you're thrown out.
Can Aziris hear this conversation? From
Sure.
where he's at?
Absolutely.
Great. He has begun approaching
Okay.
and is going to place a hand on Rice's shoulder.
All right. Easily done. I know you're standing next to Anara right now, but you're actually standing next to Rice.
Sounds good. Sounds good. He just kind of looks at Rice and then to the kobolds and says, also in Undercommon, I'm very sorry about this. Is there any way that we could maybe help you relocate somewhere else?
Leave your ears if you could.
Make a persuasion check, Aziris.
$19.
The one kobold turns to the other and they mutter at one another. Let me take a quick look here. In a language you don't understand. And then turn back and in Undercommon, where would you take us? Where can we go?
There's this group called the I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was actually just thinking the same thing.
It's a cave.
Cloud, do you speak Undercommon?
You're looking for new members right now.
That was a step joke.
Okay.
Nora does, however, speak Undercommon.
They are recruiting.
I love it.
Oh my
Rice
god.
is gonna look at Aziris and say, I think it's only fair if these kobolds paid us at least 50 gold each. The ones who are living anyway. Let's be reasonable about this, otherwise we're just terrible mercenaries.
Rice, let the adults talk.
You talking about the kobolds in here? Because they don't...
Yes. He is going to kind of crane his neck and look down the cavern towards Fen. There we go.
Okay.
Name's gone. Sorry. Fen, and just say back in common, Fen, I know you said you were not too familiar with the area, but do you know if there may be anywhere nearby that that we didn't just
Fen,
visit, you know?
go ahead and give me a history roll. Why not? Or a survival check. I will let you do either one.
Which history
or survival, whichever you prefer.
Ooh, definitely survival. That is a 17.
You are well aware that this entire Front Range area is filled with caves and caverns, some of them very likely already populated, perhaps some not populated at all.
Well, Aziris, this whole area is like various cave networks. I'm sure there's probably some that they should be able to find. So, I don't know if I know a specific one, but there should be able to find some other caves. There's several here. We can maybe explain that to. Is that what they're asking for?
That's what I'm trying to ask for.
Rice,
instead
make a
of-
history check.
Ookily dokily. 3.
Okay, you are just so pissed off at these kobolds that you have nothing to offer. Okay. All right.
Cool. Azirus will turn back to the kobolds and explain that back in Undercommon and say, I would be willing to help you relocate. That way we do not have to worry about this jeweler trying to continually remove you from your home.
But you'll remove us from our home.
I'm trying to do it without people killing you.
They mutter back at one another again. And
Question.
Go ahead.
How much of this conversation was in Undercommon? Like, I understand.
I believe everything except the conversation between Fen and Azirus has been in Undercommon.
Okay.
Correct?
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Oh my.
So the
Cast Cloud Kill. I'm sorry, go on.
So the two kobolds look at you, Azirus. Are we the only two left?
No, there are. And he counts on his fingers. I believe there are 5 others that he
Yes.
kept alive. Cool.
Yes. There are 5 sleeping kobolds.
I was able to save 5 others. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, my cat.
Cloud will add in. Are there any more of you still in this cave? Like deeper?
You
They
say that in common?
yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So they kind of look at you, Azirus, and just kind of say in Undercommon, "What?"
He translates.
Okay. No, no. There's no one else. It's just us.
He translates.
I have a question for you, little creatures. So, would you happen to know anything about these? What'd you call them, Azirus? What are they?
The
Your
faithful, I believe.
The faithful. Thank you, Anar.
Azirus just stares at him.
Did you happen to know anything about any of that?
They look around and faithful. What?
I'll take that as a no.
Right. These kobolds are idiots. So, all right. Gather your things and we'll usher you away to your brand new land.
So they sort of look about, gathering up little bits of what they have, small bits of bedroll and some sticks, some food. They have nothing significant. And what
Verona?
What of the
during that
others?
Time... Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Verona during that time just would check in with either Azirus or Anar and just figure out what the heck is going on. Like, are they leaving? Are we fighting? What exactly is going on?
Azirus would definitely let everybody know. Like, once they have made the arrangements, he will let them know.
I mean,
Mhm.
I have a quick thing. I just was wondering. I mean, like, I am okay with not killing things if I don't have to. But how does this affect the ears and the money and the hiring people and stuff?
Fantastic question, Cloud. And Rice looks at Anar. We're going to steal everything we can, right?
But of
I thought
course.
that's implied, right? At this point, because we're sparing lives, we're doing a good thing. Who cares
Gotta
about
get paid
the
somehow.
future? Exactly. If we're running a charity here, we still do need donations, and these look like donations to me. They
These are
don't
not
belong to anyone
donations.
right now.
Okay. Stop that. We just because we are doing something good does not mean that it automatically allows us to do bad things.
Well,
We did just
Maybe-
murder some kobolds, so
It's true.
I think we're past the point of trying to split hairs about stealing or not. We're murderers, so let's just accept that and move on.
Can we maybe reach something and say, yes, we look for some treasure, or if there's anything here that we can take, but then by that we maybe also give these kobolds some to make up for ourselves, some for them. That way it's kind of balanced.
I agree.
I think that sounds
Question.
fair.
Just out of curiosity, if this is their home, why are they not working here?
Because it's their home, not their job.
Kobolds are squatters. They say it's their home. That doesn't mean that it's actually their home. How long do kobolds live? 3 years? Who cares?
Well, obviously they care, but okay. I don't know much, but maybe they could have come to a deal with the jeweler, you know, labor in exchange for housing.
I'm
is
okay
that
with the
common?
stealing idea. I don't know.
Fine.
Verona, that sounds like a lovely idea. I'm very inexperienced with how things work out here, but as far as I was raised to believe, that is not how it would work, but it would be nice.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave so that I don't have to be involved in this, and I will wait by the front. And whatever happens, happens.
Maple will race after Verona and go, okay, but I mean, I'm not good for anything else, but darn it, I have a light now. So we can see getting out of here. Anybody else who needs any help, just go ahead and follow us.
Todd will walk out after them, but
Okay.
assuming that everyone doesn't need help. So
Okay, so Cloud and Verona and Maple exit the mine. What are the rest of you doing?
Just Azirus is just keeping an eye on things to make sure Rice doesn't cause any more trouble.
Anara's
Okay.
doing the same thing.
All right.
She's also eyeing the walls, trying to see what kind of gems she can snatch.
Finn's just looking the general area in the complex, just
Okay.
to see what's around inside.
Okay, so there are, from where you are at currently, you do not see any mined gems lying about. You can see sort of the twinkle within the rock of where you would imagine gems could be mined out, but there is nothing immediately in the area that you can see that is out and about. There are several crates that are nearby, as well as the chests that Anara had been by where she attempted to pick one.
Can Finn inspect the crates?
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
All right. And that's a 9.
Okay, easily done. The crates do not appear very secure. They are not very sturdily built. They are nailed together and are sealed, but they do not have the same sort of security that you have otherwise seen Elrond's takes with his their wares. So you can
Okay.
open one up if you want.
Yep, let's open it up.
Okay.
Let's take a peek inside.
Filled with random dried foodstuffs.
Okay. Finn's just gonna drop down, be like, I think that was apricot. That not bad, but you know, I don't know if we want to carry this all around.
It was in fact apricot.
Okay.
I think
I am a gourmand, if y'all want to know. But and then he's gonna look at the chest, but be like, "This is beyond anything I can do." And then just mention to Azirus, well, if you want to tell them to follow us, you know, that would probably lead to them having longer lives. And on his way out, he's gonna, since nobody else has done it, he's gonna collect ears from the ones who have been killed.
Okay.
Azirus will grab the bundles of kobolds that are asleep, maybe still, or tied up at least.
They are tied up. They can be easily roused at this point to be escorted out.
Cool. He will escort them out, briefly explain the situation. And once they are out, there's the person whose name I cannot recall who is there to escort us, correct?
Yeah, Mirador. As you
Wonderful.
As you come out of the building, Mirador is, or as you come out of the mine, I should say, Mirador is standing there now, having been hiding off in the distance a little bit, not wanting to get involved in the fray. Sees you coming out with a group of kobolds. Kill them! Kill them!
Aziris will step forward and just say, "We'll be relocating them. It is not necessary. We already killed some. And I believe we should still be paid for how many ears we will be removing from the cavern."
Are you working with them? Is this some trick so that they can come back?
Why would I do that?
Why would you let them go?
Because I do
They're
not want to
vermin.
see bloodshed.
Why would you take this job? You're supposed to kill them.
And
Be
we did
fair,
kill some.
it's never said on the actual contract or anything that we had to kill, only that we had to remove some. How we choose to conduct our business is purely up to us. You have a mind that is empty.
Make a
Whether they
persuasion
live or die-
check. Or an intimidation check. I'll let you pick.
Well, intimidation and persuasion are the exact same.
Okay.
For me. So 16.
Mirador.
Actually, you know what? Sorry, I will take that intimidation because I
Sure.
realized, yeah, she's not happy.
That's fine.
So, cobalt removed. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ears. So that is 5 removed. We'll get them out of here. You'll never see them again.
How did you get 10 ears?
Wasn't there 10 pairs or 10 ears total? 5
Yeah,
pairs.
you didn't kill 5 total.
No, I was counting the live ones.
Are you cutting the ears off the live ones to bring back?
No, it was more just referencing we're removing them from the mine, so therefore we get paid.
Sure. So Mirador looks at you and says, "Bring the ears back. Elrond pays you."
Only getting paid for ears.
Tempted to take your ears right now, but anyways. Fine.
I have a curiosity, if you don't mind stating it real quick, the guide. These kobolds, did they end up killing anyone when they cleared out the mine earlier?
He looks around. They tried. We ran.
All right. They seem like wonderful fellows.
I definitely invite them to dinner.
Hmm.
Look, Rise, I can make jokes like you.
I'm very impressed, Cloud.
Thank you.
Mirador looks back and forth between you, very confused. Then invite them to dinner. I don't want vermin at my table.
Right.
Well, then you might want to stay away from your table.
We'll just shuffle them off, and head back into town. Then, right? They have a place to go.
We'll find one.
Looking at all of this, the kobold that you had been speaking to looks at you and says, "Just, we'll go. Just, we'll find a place. Leave us alone." And gathers up the living, still somewhat sleepy, wandering, and they head off up into the front range.
But before you go there, Kobold, he says to him in Undercommon, just if you could do me a favor, just as a one-to-one, we did you a favor, you do me a favor. When you tell people about this, you need to make sure to describe how brutal the true elves were. That I would appreciate that. We didn't do anything nice for you. Thank you.
He spits at your feet and walks away.
Pleasure doing business.
I think that went well.
Mirador is just shaking his head, completely at a loss as to what on earth has just happened.
You're welcome.
Totally Mirador, not the DM at all. Totally Mirador, who is utterly confused about what just occurred. But
Zeris, you did the right thing, in my book. For whatever that's worth.
Well, let's hope it proves to be the right thing and we can still get enough money to do something. Because sometimes you might do one right thing, but it might prevent you from doing another bigger right thing.
Yes,
And
and
then
the
you're
la-
weighing which right thing is righter.
Who knows?
I think that's a left after you do so many rights.
The world is full of many choices, and you cannot make all of the right ones.
But you
That's
can
what-
certainly try.
Right.
Let's walk back.
okay, so you have the ears from 3 kobolds. Were you going to attempt to do any other looting of the mine before you head
Oh,
back?
but of course. Anara's definitely going to go in and try to chip away some of that wall, get some jewels.
Okay. Do you have mining tools?
I'm going to use my mangled dagger.
You're going to use
Whatever
your
the
mangled dagger. All right. Go ahead and... What the hell am I going to have you... Go ahead and give me a strength check.
All right.
And Anara, what are you doing? Just try and pick the chests over there. There's probably some gems in them.
They're pretty hardy locks. I tried. That would be a 13.
You, with this mangled dagger, are just getting little sparks of flint and chip off, but not doing anything significant.
Damn rock! It's harder than a. It's harder than a steel.
Maybe you can get Maple in there to punch it or something.
Now that's a good idea. Maple.
You know,
Maple,
that makes sense. We can have Maple just destroy the chest, and then we can have what's inside.
Exactly.
How long does light last?
Question.
Like a minute?
Spell
or is it
ends
10
if
minutes?
you cast it again or dismiss it as an action. An hour.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So then
wow.
Maple
Yeah, you're
is still
fine.
She's entranced by her axe. She didn't hear a word you said. She still does not know who did this to it. She is thinking she did this to it.
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
Okay. What are you... Are we attempting to pick crates? Are we smashing crates open? Or what are we doing?
Anara's going to try a different crate.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a dexterity roll with all of your lockpicking.
All right. So that would be a 15.
Okay, once again, you get in there and you know you're going to break this pick if you go any further.
See, actually, no. That would be 14. Let me just see. Maybe recalculate. 11, 14, 15, 16, 17. Actually, that would be an 18.
So you get it and you get 1 pin to move, but that's about it.
These are
Wow.
tough little locks.
Wow.
Well, we've effectively wasted most of our time here, so we might as well head back then.
Yes.
Let's try smashing it.
Wow. We could try smashing it, but that's...
Let's try smashing it. We gotta get something out of this. We'll have Maple smash it.
Oh, we'll have Maple do what?
Maple, go and smash that chest in the mine. Try and open it.
What does the chest look like? Is it just wood,
Yeah,
or is it like
it's
metal on wood?
It's a wooden chest with heavy iron strapping riveted into the wood.
Would Maple know that metal on metal would probably hurt her axe?
Oh, it's a metal chest?
Well, it's a wooden chest, but it's got like heavy iron banding that's riveted into the wood, so it's reinforced. Because again, it's trying to protect very expensive gems. So, go. Man, that's a great question. I don't think Maple would. So just give me a straight up wisdom roll. Just roll wisdom. You're looking to beat a 10. If you beat a
Okay.
10, don't do it.
Okay, then that's a 13.
All right, you know that if you hit that iron with your axe, that something bad is going to happen to your axe.
Okay. Oh, shoot, bud. I really don't want to risk it. It's got this great glowing situation going on right now. I'd like to
Yeah.
keep it like this as long as possible. I could talk to animals a couple days ago, and now I can get my axe to glow.
Well, if it's light enough to carry, then maybe someone wants to carry it. I'll just take it back and work on it.
Maple, adjusting her 2 backpacks and her 2-handed great axe, going, you know what, bud? I'm sure I could manage to get it out of here just fine. I'm not carrying a lot. I think I could handle it.
Just carry one more chest.
What?
Oh, we're still being babysat from outside, right?
Yeah.
Just put it in the bag. It's fine.
How big is the chest?
So these chests are each about 3 feet wide, about 1.5 feet deep, and 1.5 feet length, whatever you want to say it. Length by width by height is just about 5 square feet, 5 cubic feet.
I hate to say it, but I don't think we're going to be able to subtly
Yeah.
bring that into town and not have problems with a lot of people.
Well, we tried.
Okay. DM ruling on this.
Yeah. Try it.
Because I just wanna know.
I'm
if
keen to hear where this
is-
goes. Let's see.
Shape water allows me to freeze water.
Yeah.
If I pour water into the lock, freeze it, is that going to destroy the mechanisms on the inside when it...
You can try it.
Okay. Verona just storms in, grabs one of the locks, puts as much water into it as possible, and uses shape water to freeze all the water inside the lock to try and
Give me a straight up D20 roll.
Okay. How do you do that on roll 20? Is there a
On your-
for it, or?
You can just do it from
Bottom
your
left corner?
character sheet, where the die is in the bottom left corner of your character sheet on D&D Beyond.
Nice. Didn't even see that. It didn't go through.
There's
oh,
a
it
straight-
rolls on there. 16.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that, you, with the casting, the water turns to ice, and you hear this sound, and the, if you feel it, you can give a tug, and the lock comes open.
Okay. Tug it. Open it. What do I see inside?
Inside, you are looking at a crate filled with rubies.
Okay. Verona turns to everyone and goes, I am trying very hard to keep us on the straight and narrow. I do not like doing this. If we take this, we use it to get the reinforcements that we need to help get the kids.
Agreed.
Anything else that is left over? At that point we can decide.
Yes, think of the children.
Rise?
I mean, Verona,
Verona?
he has a point a little bit.
He does have a point,
He
and
has
it
a
is
point.
what you just suggested.
So, let us go back.
should-
We have had a long day.
Fine.
And that is where we will end for this evening. So, curious to see what happens from here. So, thank you all for joining us this evening. We will be on air on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, talking world building, chatting, having a good time. And then We will be back next Wednesday to see what our intrepid adventurers do with their newfound pile of rubies. So, thanks everybody for joining us for the evening. We will see you all next week. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.